You're gonna be singing happy birthday.
I sure
I
the
hope
fuck
so.
hope not.
Oh!
We're doing that.
I'm gonna kick you from voice chat, Opal.
At the end.
Not in the middle of Queen. Then she complains, and then we kick her in the middle of Queen. What do you think, Opal?
That's a good idea, actually. Or you kick me in the middle of QG explanations and you take over and somehow it's faster.
I bet you were about to say you kick me as soon as we queue in, then I don't have to worry about doing calls this run.
That would also be based. Another About No Calls run. The people have been asking for
an
it.
Anyprog.
Just do the mechanics.
That's how Phil
Just
says he's
do it.
gonna call when I tell him to call a run. He said he'll do secrets. You're like, oh, just do the mechanic for every single mechanic.
Incredibly base. That's why that guy's my go. Okay, we have 28 in voice, which is not 36, but it is what it is. Life goes on. I'm going to be going ahead and getting some roles out of the way. I did have some volunteers early on. However, there are still many roles we are missing. To start with, I'm going to come back to Percept because we are still yet to figure out what I'm going to do with science. I'll figure that out at the end. First and foremost, I will need a Rind Armor user. We already have one in Wobble to Bobble. We will need a second one. If no one volunteers, I will volunteer a random melee. There's only like 6 of you, so...
It's easy to do.
Click the button. Way.
Okay, Jiren, perfect. That is our Rind 1 user. Okay, next up, we will need, let's see, we have Duelist, we have Slime Lead, we have Main Tank. Golem's Lead will probably be Ballpark. Flare Star is a meme. Duelist is also Ballpark. That's the tax for making him Golem's Lead. And then with that said, the only things that we have left are physical and magical batteries. Physical and magical batteries enable excellence chaining, a way to greatly increase damage. With excellence chaining, you can go from doing about 10-11k on a melee to doing, 16, 17, 18k DPS. It's a pretty big damage increase, so we want to at least set up physical batteries and, if possible, magical batteries as well. If you're willing to be a battery, please let me know in Alliance chat. Yep, I have RMS on Queen. Looking for any other volunteers. Ideally, we would like to get at least like 2 of them, if not all 3. We do have a physical duelist. Okay, Bobble can fizz back. And we have Alrone, perfect. Okay, so we have Alrune as the QG physical battery, Wobble as TA, RMS as Queen. If we have at least one other caster, we can set up magic batteries as well, but if not, then we can just skip them. It is what it is. With that said, doing low amount slime is going to be a hard sell here, so I think we're just going to do normal slimes. However, I am going to have to consolidate parties and split up tanks. I can give you 10 Caprice Hazel. Let me find you.
There are 8 tanks that are currently in the run.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to split them among parties.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start, you know, moving people around, trying to get bodies in parties properly. We're gonna start. Elio, if I could have you please move to probably Alliance B. I think that's gonna be the best. So if I could have Elio Forgeron to Alliance B for me. You'll be the solo tank, but you'll be fine. And let me go ahead and unlock rules actually. Okay. TF is going down for just one short second as I unlock the roles. Okay. Okay. If I could then have... I'm gonna have Serena Clark, if you would go to A for me. Just leave the party, join Alliance A. Shaun, I'm gonna have you do the same, but move to Alliance B. And Ruja, I'm also gonna have you move to Alliance B for me. So I should have Ruja and Shaun to B. I think that's what I said. Micah Licorice, if you could move to Alliance C for me. And then Mew, I guess I will have you move to Alliance E since they do not have a dervish. Okay, and that should be roles sorted. I think there'll be an extra slot in B unless I miscalculated. In which case, Bebo in here? No, I'm gonna have Bebo move to B for me. Password should be the same. I know this motherfucker Carter's baiting. And again, if I could have, oh wait, oh right, yeah. Shaun, I'm gonna have you move to Alliance B for me. Sorry, I believe I told you to go to C. Shaun, I'm gonna have you go to B.
I don't know if they're in voice chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Okay, that should hopefully be the end of the party shuffling. Alliance F is gonna be a short one until someone else joins. Let me go ahead and unlock slots. Wait, who's the Dragoonin? Oh, it was Taof. Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do then, Taof, is if you're going to rejoin, if you could go to Alliance E, and Ballpark if you go to Alliance F, just to give Ballpark better. Yeah, give Ballpark better bucks.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Goodbye, E, I love you.
I need Ballpark to have a dancer. It's in the contract. I'm sorry.
This is the most sad day of my life.
Jeff's back up again if you were trying to rejoin.
Yeah, but now we have 2 tokens.
That's fine. I trust you and Alga to stack your buffs as needed.
Fuck.
I trust Elrond. I would trust Elrond with my life. Honestly. Jean is not responding in Alliance chat or voice chat. It is what it is. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get some explanations out of the way. And yeah, if this is your first time, oh right, let me check this these Caprice real quick. Before I get started with explanations, at this time, if you are someone who is missing any fragments, whether you do not have enough pure essence fragments, whether you do not have enough re-razors, whether you don't have enough actions, please say something in Alliance chat. There are a lot of us, including myself, who have a ton of fragments to give away. A lot of us are trying to liquidate stock before the start of Occult Crescent to free up our inventory space. So if you need anything, please do ask. We want to make sure that you are prepared and have everything you need in order to succeed, hopefully. Real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and post I'm gonna post the roles. If I have you on a roll, please make sure you have the stuff needed for it. Hazel, I'm gonna put you on TA, but if you want me to buy more mimics for you, like if you don't feel comfortable, let me know. And actually I take that back. William, you're gonna be the TA battery and I'm gonna have Hazel be queen. Okay. Roster is fully updated. And yeah. I do in fact have some spare cuttings. Save those to you. Okay. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and start explanations. If it's your first time, make sure you pay attention. I'm gonna go over some of the core things this instance. If you're not new, then I don't know, just do whatever. Have fun. Oh, I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna discard the Phoenix on how I asked. There you go. Okay. But yeah, welcome to DRS. We have completed the hardest part, which is actually getting enough people to enter. This is obviously minimum 24 people, ideally like 32 for learning run. So the hardest part is definitely getting new people, finding the time to do it. So thank you all for coming. There are a couple bare minimums for DRS though. If this is your first time, I want to make sure that you have the following. First of all, make sure you have a pure essence. This is the barest of bare minimums. This content is designed around pure essences and their bonuses. Without a pure essence, you cannot effectively complete the content in a helpful way. To put it in a less nice way, if you don't have a pure essence, you're probably just going to die to everything. You're not going to do any damage, and we're probably just going to have to leave you for dead. That's why it's so important, I say, to please have your pure essences. You want to have a couple extra because if we fail the first encounter, which happens more often than you would think, we will zone out, zone back in, and give it another go. Every time, you will need another pure essence to pop, since your pure essence only lasts for the instance that we are in. In addition, you want to make sure you have re-razors. This duty, much like Baldesion Arsenal, has a resurrection restricted debuff. If you have, the only ways to really res people are like resistance re-razors, healers with lost or rise, healer limit break, sacrifice, and the rare dynamis dice. Resistance re-razors are the most common of those. If you die and have a re-razor active, there's a very very good chance that you come back to life. But please make sure you have one active at all times. If at any point you die, you will want to, if at any point you die and your resistance re-razor activates, you come back to life, please make sure you walk out of whatever killed you and then pop another one. They're like items, so they're kind of like, you know, the potions from Deep Dungeon or Eureka, or even just your tinctures in like real content. You can just use one between your GCDs very easily, very simple. Finally, there are a couple key actions. I'm going to go ahead and put guide actions here. I'm also going to talk about it before our first boss. But actions are the key to lost actions are the key to this content. If you're not using lost actions, to quote the JP wiki, like even the best players not using lost actions will do like half as much damage as someone using them. It's very important to use your lost actions. They are huge damage multipliers. There's some quick guides in DRS learning, but I want to make sure that everyone has the necessary actions within their party to function. If you are a physical range DPS, please make sure that you have a Dervish. It comes from the same fragment as your pure essence. As if you are the only physical range DPS, you will use your Dervish on the 2-minute window just to give that big nice buff. Despite it being a 90-second cooldown, we want to stack all the buffs on the 2 minutes, so you're going to hold it for that 2-minute window. Use stuff like your technical stuff, you know, your songs, your battle voice, or even your wildfire to time that. if you are if there are multiple physical range in your party, you should also still bring that dervish, because with 2 dervish users you can actually keep 100% uptime just by chaining uses back to back. So it's really, really nice to have that 100% dervish uptime with 2 dervish users if you do have those 2 physical range. Finally, healers, please make healers, please make sure you have both Sealsing and Spellforge. I know some servers recommend you just use one, just carry one, but I like to make sure every healer has both, not only because we sometimes often have solo healers where there's just one healer in a party, but also because it prevents that moment where one person brings Sealsing and the other also brings Sealsing, and you just can't really, and then your party just can't deal damage on QG, and we have to figure out logistics, and it's just a headache. Please, please, please just bring both buffs. And you're just going to carry them in your holster to be ready for Queen's Guard. You don't need to slot it at the start either. Now, actually, finally, tanks. We want to make sure that there's Ether Shield for every party. Every party will need at least 1 Ether Shield user, so please discuss within your party who is going to use Ether Shield and who will have a backup Ether Shield ready in case the main tank dies. If you're the only tank in your party, you are by default the Ether Shield, and if you have other tanks, you can talk it out, or you can just both bring the Ether Shield loadout. And actually, finally, casters, please make sure one of you in every party has Cure 4. Cure 4 is the strongest heal in this instance. It is by far the most important action. It is not only the main source of healing for your parties, it is also a huge 10% damage bonus that you can keep up with 100% uptime. If you don't bring Cure 4, your party does 10% less damage and also dies to raid wides. Please make sure at least one of you has it. If there are 2 casters in the party, you can discuss who is bringing it, who isn't. But I recommend, if you're new, just bring Cure 4 anyways. It's good to keep yourself alive and your party alive. I'll talk more about how to use actions before our first boss so that it's easier to internalize. But there is, again, the guides in DRS Learning if you want to scroll up a little bit and see them. Just make sure you have your things sorted. If you are missing anything, this is your last chance to say so. Yeah. What do you need, Hazel?
Did you offer more Caprice?
No, but I can offer 500 Kega.
Okay, I can offer you.
Go have fun.
Care fragments.
Okay, sure. Go get them, champ. Okay, this is your last chance to ask for actions. If you're missing anything, now is the time to say something in Alliance chat. This is your final chat. I'm gonna go ahead and run a ready chat. If you are missing anything, please say no to this ready chat. Other than Hazel, I know you were still picking stuff up.
Shaun indeed didn't move, so he doesn't have a C4.
Yeah, also, at this time,
Join. I don't know what to do with that group.
yeah, I'm gonna have Shaun, if you could leave your party and rejoin Alliance B for me. As I initially said, we want to make sure that we have a Cure 4 in that party as well. So I'm gonna have you leave the Alliance and join Alliance B for me. That is Shaun Yuan. If you could again leave the party, move to B.
I don't see anyone with that name in voice chat.
Okay, but yeah, that should be everything. While they are doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly explain Thrice Come Ruin. In this instance, much like in Delum Regine Normal, we, instead of dying to, just instantly dying to mechanics, outside of the 3rd boss, you'll almost never instantly die. Instead, if you fail a mechanic, you will get a Thrice Come Ruin. It's a slight damage down on top of stacking together, and once you get 3 stacks of Thrice Come Ruin, you will instantly die with no way to estimate it, no way to help you. You're just dead. So, because it is both a damage down and a guaranteed death if you fail too many mechanics, I'm going to ask you to please make sure that you are focusing on mechanics. While you should still be doing your basic rotation, your 1, 2, 3 throughout that, if you do need to pause for a second to resolve a mechanic, stop uptime, just do whatever you need to do, please do so, because while we do have a lot of raises, they are not unlimited. We want to make sure as many people get through this as possible. And of course, as Wobble said, death is the ultimate damage loss. If you die and you re-raise, you will get that weakness, and that is a large, I believe 30% as well, damage loss. You definitely don't want to get that either. 25%, yeah. I know Brink is 50. Yeah. Okay. I believe that is everything. I'm gonna go ahead and run another ready check. My goal here is going to be to get us through the instance before 10 p.m. or not 10 p.m. before midnight. And if why would I say midnight? Yeah, no. My goal is to be out of here before 11:30. If you are not free by then that is a failure on my part. Yeah, make sure that you are ready to go. I'm gonna try and get you guys through quickly. I see a couple people saying not ready. Okay. I'm gonna give those people another minute or two to get themselves sorted. I know Ona's ready. That guy's always ready. Bro could like wake up, join a PF, and still be ready.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, that's also me with half
I'm
these
running
runs.
late.
Dude, I legitimately woke up like 20 minutes before Lynn's run.
It's so real. I could not because it was like fucking 6 a.m. time.
Uh,
No.
so early. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give people another minute or two. Again, sort your stuff out. If you're missing anything, please say something now. I'm also going to draw this link here. And yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. It is 9:20. I'm gonna go ahead and QS in. And yeah. This is the final ready check. Please go ahead and enter and click commence for me. Please only say no if you are missing something in your couch. You can set up your holster and everything inside. We just need to make sure you have the actions and stuff to actually enter. Again, please please go ahead and hit commence. Unless you are actively missing something, in which case hit withdraw. This is I'm gonna ask you, please hit commence. Perfect, thank you. Again, congratulations on completing the hardest part of DRS, which is actually entering the instance. Dear Lord, if you did not have to have 24 people, I would literally not do any other content. At this time, if you're new, there's going to be a cutscene for you to watch. Please go ahead and watch that. Once you're out of the cutscene, you will notice that there are 2 glowing pads at the bottom of the stairs. I'm going to beg and plead, do not touch those glowing pads until I say so. If you take those glowing pads, you will be transported to our first encounters, slimes, and golems, and you will have no way back up. Return and lodestones do not work in this instance in the same way that they do Delubrum Reginae normal. So once you drop down, you are stuck down there with whatever you have activated and in your holster. That is why we want to make sure everyone is very prepared before we do so. We're also going to be splitting up the raid with half of us going towards one side, the other half going towards the other. We're going to make sure you don't drop down unprepared and go to the right side. Please do not drop down. At this time, activate your Pure Essence, a Re-Raiser, and your 2 starting actions. For me, for example, that is Blood Rage and Bubble, since I am babysitting. But for you, that is probably something like Fauna Power, Fauna Magic, maybe a Chain Spell, plus a secondary utility action, you know, Cure 4, Arise, Dervish, Bound Sacrifice, whatever it is. Activate all of that, then fill your holster back up to a full 99 of 99 weight. If you are under rank 25, then that may be a little lower. Yeah, Hembo, go for it. I'm babysitting QT already. Yeah. Please refill your holster back up to full. Once you have done so, please go back to your waymark. If you have like, you know, 10, 20 extra space, just add a bunch of re-raisers, because if you are new, you will need them. If you only have like 1 or 2 extra weight, please add some extra light curtains, as they may help you resolve mechanics. But regardless, please double check the holsters. If you don't know what to bring, they are both at the bottom of the roster, as well as in the recruiting posts. We want to make sure everyone has what they need. Okay, I have to figure out what my holster is going to be real quick. Let's see. Oh wait, that's actually... Okay. While I am cooking, if you are someone who has cleared a couple times, please go ahead and double check everyone's actions. Make sure everyone in your party has like decent actions and talk to them if they have something strange. I will also be double checking everyone's actions using special tools as well as just by clicking on people because I already had that habit from before I even started boosting DRS. If I click on you and I see something weird, I am going to call you out in voice chat. Please double check that you have the stuff that is in the holsters, both actions, essences, and re-razors.
Yeah, 1 second. Just so that you don't fucking scream at A. There we go.
Okay. Dude, this holster is so fucking close. Oh, right, and before we drop down, we'll also need to sort some rules that I forgot. Actually, no, we won't. Never mind. We'll be fine. I'll just do the 2% that I didn't assign. Okay, Hembo, I'm gonna DM you my holster. Can you double check it real quick? I feel like I'm definitely forgetting something, but also I'm definitely not. Okay. My holster is sorted, probably. I'm gonna go ahead and start checking everyone else's actions. Again, make sure that you have your 2 starting actions. Okay. Blue Akaldama, please make sure that you activate a pure essence of the Fiend Hunter. That is the only essence that will give you enough damage and enough support to actually, you know, do the instance. In addition, if I could have, Mika and Hain, please activate your respective pure essences as well. Hain, you will need a pure essence of the Divine. Mika, you will need a pure essence of the Elder. You need these actions for your special... You need these essences for your actions to actually work. For example, Mika... Mika Licorice, I'm talking to the other, Mika Bunanza. You're good, don't worry. But yeah, you need that Elder for your Cure Fort work, and you need that pure essence of the Divine in order for your Arises to work. In addition, you guys also have some wacky actions. Please make sure that you sort those out as well. Past that, let's see, we have an Excellence Flop and Excellence Bomb for Seeker. Elio, please make sure that you start with 2 damage actions. Ether Shield is not used until Trinity Avowed, the 3rd boss. We want to make sure you have actual damage actions for the first 2 bosses because more damage means less mechanics, means easier fights. Trying to think what else. I think we should be good. Everything else looks relatively good. Who doesn't? Mika, okay. Again, that is why I asked you guys to please double check the holsters and everything that was in the holsters. I also double checked and made sure to ask you to have those pure essences specifically. If we do wipe to the first encounter, I will give you some outside the instance. However, if we make it through Trinity Seeker, or if we make it through Slimes and Golems, we will have to leave you dead as, you know, you actually literally cannot survive the instance without that pure essence.
See them in BC unless they're under a different name.
Okay, and same thing for Hain. If you do not have a pure essence, then if we make it past Seeker, since you're a healer and you don't have an essence, you will basically just not have a job, since the main role of healers is to provide that rise. So same thing. If we wipe to the instance, if we wipe to the first encounter, I will give you the pure essences that you need. However, if we make it through, unfortunate. Yeah, please go ahead and at least equip some useful actions. Hain, since you are a healer, Hain, make sure that you use like a chain spell and like Yeah. And then, Mika, just equip a Phonic Magic, equip your Cure 4. Even if you don't have the Pure, it is still, good healing. Okay. I'm not gonna spend too much longer on that. I'm going to go ahead and move on. And yeah. At this time, again, double checking your party, make sure everything makes sense, make sure I didn't miss anything. If everything looks good to you, go ahead and run a ready chat. Once your party is ready, let me know in Yell chat. While those ready chats go out, I'm going to go ahead and inform you all that half of you will be swapping voice channels. If you were in parties D and F, you're going to swap down to the DRS. You're going to go to DRS Learning and swap down to the Golem's voice channel, where you're going to be forced to listen to Ballpark Hot Dog. Whether that's an improvement or a downgrade, that is up to you. But yeah, D and F, please go ahead and swap voice channels. If you're in A, B, and C, you're going to be staying in this voice channel with me. Okay, the only people left in here should be those in parties A, B, and C. Again, if you're in D and F, please swap voice channels for me. Go down to the Golem's voice channel where you can listen to Ballpark. I see that party A, B, and C are ready, so we are good to go. At this time, again, double check that your holster is full, that you have everything you will need. I have everything I need for the rest of the instance. Hopefully you have the same, everything you need. Once you've double checked that your holster is full, 99 of 99, go ahead and take this pad to the left of the cache, looking down at the cache. Take that jump pad down.
Oh, Paul, did you forget E exists?
Huh?
You didn't say where E is going. I'm assuming we're going gold.
Oh, yeah, he's going to Golems. DNF is going Golems. Sorry, say that quickly so I know. Because sometimes when you pick up.
Okay, yeah, I only heard DNF.
Yeah.
Paul,
Okay.
Did you sort out Percepts?
Yes, I have the 2 I need.
Okay.
I am doing Science Percept, I am doing Tia Percept.
Okay, because I was just gonna bring Percepts anyway, because they fit in my bag.
Huge. There will be no CL moments today. At this time, if you are in parties A, B, and C, I'm going to ask you to get against the wall here. I'm going to put down some markers. If you've never done sums with me before, I like to draft rules instead of just saying to go to, instead of like just, telling people to stand on markers. But before I start getting into any special rules, I'm going to go and explain this line. So, these markers will correspond to the rooms in the arena. The southwest 1 marker is the southwest room. The southeast 2 marker is the southeast room. So on and so forth. Northeast is northeast room. Northwest is northwest room. In this encounter, there are going to be 3 basic enemy types. All of you will only really be dealing with one of them at a time. You should only really deal with your 1 enemy type that is assigned to you. For the tanks and healers, you are going to be dealing with the green slimes. Green slimes will drop in the middle of the hallway. Here on Phil, we generally like to do the 3-2-1 strategy, which means that tanks will take turns pulling 3 slimes, then 2 slimes, and then a healer will grab the last one for them to provoke all at the same time. The second enemy type is going to be the red slimes. Red slimes will spawn in each of the rooms. These are going to be managed by the DPS. DPS, your sole job is going to be to kill the red slimes without using any lost action. Finally is going to be healer. Finally is going to be the Bojin soldiers. Only 2 people will deal with these, one at the north, one at the south. These ads just cannot go into the rooms, as if they are in the rooms, when we do the final provoke, they will interrupt the fusions with their big AoBs, and they will cause a wipe. Okay, with that out of the way, we're going to start by drafting tanks. If I can have 1 tank each on the 1, 2, 3, and 4 way markers, if you're a tank, you're probably going to have to do something here. Perfect. I'm going to go and mark you guys with 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tanks, your job is very simple, but arguably the easiest to mess up. Again, we're going to do that 3-2-1 strategy. So you'll start by grabbing 3 at a time in room order. So we'll start with room 1 tank, grabbing 3 of them at a time and pulling them back to their room. Then room 2 tank will grab 3 at a time, pull them back to their room. Room 3 tank will pull 3, pull them back to their room, and room 4 tank will pull 3, drag them back to their room. Once all tanks have gotten 3, they will have like a kind of medium-sized slime. They will then need to go to their. Then they will take turns going to their doorway, using their range attack and provoke to grab 2 of them. So once room 4 has gotten their 3, room 1, you'll go to your doorway, use your range attack, use your provoke, grab 2 of the slimes, and drag them back onto that pad in the middle of your room. Once that's happened, tank 2, you will grab 2 of them, then I will grab 2 of them, then tank 4 will grab 2 of them. Once you've gotten all 5 of the slimes, your job is very, very easy. You just bring your slime onto the center of that pad in your room, drag it onto the pad in the center of your room, and just sit there and cycle your mitigation to make sure that you don't die to autos. Eventually your healer will bring one to the corner of your room, and then all you need to do at that point is position yourself so that your big slime is between you and the small slime. Provoke at the end of the countdown. I'll say something like 3, 2, 1, provoke. You'll provoke that slime off your healer. Make sure that it goes through the middle of your big slime so that they actually cast fusion. And once they are both fusing, you are done. Again, that is the tank's job. Tanks, if you have any questions, please do ask them. Otherwise, just come stand in the middle here with me if you are good to go. I know Cecil knows what it's doing, so we are going to go on ahead to the healers. Tanks, you can go back to your markers. You guys are fine. Next up, healers. Healers, your job is going to be to keep the tanks alive. Basically, actually, sorry, let me read some. You have a 3-tiered priority system for what you're doing. Your number 1 most important job, once all tanks have grabbed all their slimes from the center, you will use your glare, your dosis, your boil, your malefic, very importantly, not your damage over time ability, just your basic GCD to grab 1 green slime out of a hallway and pull it to the corner. Now there are 4 corners of a room, of course, so you may be confused as to which one to drag it to. If you look into DRS Learning, thank you Wobble for the perfect timing, you will notice that there is the second image shows you where to stand based on your role. Healers, you will stand on that far corner in the far north or south, and you will just drag the slime there at the very end. Tanks will provoke it off for you, your life is good. Now your second most important job, you also need to keep your tanks alive. Now they should be cycling mitigation as I said, but that doesn't always happen, people get focused on doing other stuff. So you will also need to use your basic GCD heals to heal them. This is one of the only places in the instance where you're actually going to use those, so now is a good time to get it out of your system. Finally, you can target, if you have nothing better to do, you can target the red slimes that your DPS are dealing with once they are already tethered to the DPS. Okay, that is the healer's job. Again, healers, I think you have one of the easier jobs. We will need 1 healer on each of the markers, 1 healer on each of the markers. Also, tank 2, you can go back to your marker. You're fine. Okay, we have 1 healer with each marker. At this time, I'm going to mark you guys hex 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you are a green icon job and you do not have a marker on your head at this time, then you are considered a DPS for the rest of the encounter. You will be playing with the DPS instead of the healer. Okay, before I get into the DPS's job, I will need 2 people to deal with the hallway golems. These are ideally like melee DPS, since they have a stun. So I can have 1 melee DPS, or anyone really, in the north and the south. Perfect. Both of you should know what you're doing, but as a recap, you're just gonna sit at the north and the south respectively. Kill the hallway soldiers, make sure to build your gauge, and just don't let them go into the rooms. I'm not even gonna bother asking because I know you guys will be fine. Finally, we are going to go to the DPS. DPS, you have the most important but one of the easiest jobs in this encounter. You are going to go to your assigned room. Once the traps are percepted, you're going to walk in, and you're going to kill any red slimes that spawn there. It is very imperative that you kill the red slimes very, very fast. They'll spawn about every 30 seconds or so. You will need to kill them before the next one spawns in order to make sure that they do not fuse with each other, become massive, heal themselves, and kill everyone. If your room has a trap in it, then you will just start in the doorway instead, pull them back to the doorway, and then once the traps are found, you'll just go back to that far corner as seen in the second image in the Slime's Guide. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start drafting DPS. When I say your name and the marker, please go to the marker I specify. I can have Yeva go to 1, Luna go to 2, Ruja go to 3, Aoi go to 4. Arcturus if you could go to 1, Vibo if you could go to 2, Raylo to 3, Jiren to 4. Raymar to 1, Don Dalter to 2, Down to 3, and Rue to 4. Tete, I'm gonna have you go to 2, and Serena, I'm gonna have you go to 4. Okay, that should be everyone. Again, make sure you know which room you are going to. Southwest marker, southwest room, southeast, all of that. You should already be good. Couple of things to take note of, that I have not gone over yet. First of all is traps. In this encounter, if you remember Duel Originate Normal, there are going to be traps throughout this encounter. Since I've already checked the south 2 rooms, I know that there is one in both of the south 2 rooms. I can percept outside, I see the sense of concealed trap, I know there's a trap in the 2 south rooms. Make sure that if there's a trap in your room, you wait at the doorway until it is percepted. For the 2 in the north rooms this time, you can simply go up to your rooms and walk in, and you'll be fine. There are no traps in the north rooms. But yeah, if you're in the south rooms, please stand in the doorway, kill the red slimes there until the traps are percepted. I will percept the middle of the hallway and then in room order. Please do be careful as well, as there is a trap in the middle of the hallway. That's going to be the first one percepted. Make sure that you do not run into it. Okay, final thing. At the end of the encounter, I said that, whenever tanks provoke the slimes, everyone's done with their jobs, right? That's not strictly true. Once the tanks have pulled their final slime, have merged their 2, all the slimes will start exploding and we need to run out of their explosion range. This isn't the intended way to kill it, but it does work, it has worked, the devs know about it, and they're fine with this. So, we all run out of our rooms, run through the north of the hallway, run through those north doors, and then run all the way to the east. There's going to be a bridge. You're basically going to want to stand like over here. Hang on. Just run all the way there once everyone has done their jobs, when I call rupture basically, and then tuck in far into the corner. I promise you that you cannot run off the bridge. As you can see here, I'm trying my hardest. I really wish you could, it would be so funny. But alas, they don't let us. So you can just run all the way against that far corner and get as far away from the slimes as possible. Okay, that is literally everything. We are done. Golems is ready. I somehow out-explained Ballpark Hot Dog. At this time, go ahead and run ready checks in your party. If you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to ask them. There are no bad questions. I promise you, no matter how dumb it sounds, Wobble has asked me 5 dumber ones as a bit. There are no bad questions. Party A is ready, Party B is ready. Let me know when Party C is ready. At this time... Yo, orange slimes. Holy shit. Okay, Party C is ready. All parties are ready. I'm gonna let them know that Slimes is ready. At this time, go ahead and double check your stances. All the tanks need to have their stance on. Also double check your Carbuncle's dance partners. Make sure someone has dance partner. Make sure your fairy is summoned. Make sure that Cardia is hopefully on no one. And we're starting a 30-second countdown. Now is also a good time to pop some raid food if you have it, something like Mokeka. It gives you a little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra HP. As a reminder, in this encounter, do not use any lost action unless you strictly need to. For example, I have the Percept, so I'm going to use that. But don't use your Fauna Magics, don't use your Fauna Powers, your Chain Spells. We want to save those for the bosses that have actual mechanics. I'm opening the doors. Tank 1, please get ready to grab all 3 of the slimes. Tank 1, grab these first 3 slimes. Poison Trap in room 2. Tank 1, grab those 3 DPS, you can enter your rooms and kill the red slimes. Tank 2, go ahead and get ready, you're grabbing all 3 of the slimes. Tank 2, grab all 3 slimes. From this point forward, I will not be calling when red slimes drop DPS, that is your job, that is your prerogative. I trust you can focus on that just fine. Next up, I'm grabbing all 3 of the slimes. Tank 4, go ahead and get ready. DPS red slimes have dropped. That is your last call on that. Room 4, please drag them to the opposite corner. You can actually pull the green slimes through the wall based on movement, so just go to the opposite corner and pull them there. Perfect. Tank 1, please go out into the hallway. You're going to grab 2 of them with your ranged attack provoke. Just go to your doorway, do not go all the way into the hallway. Grab 2 green slimes and pull them back to your pad. Tanks 2 and 3, you guys can both get ready. You are grabbing 2 at a time. There's a freebie in your room, so grab that one in your room and then 1 more, and I will grab the other 2. Tank 4, you can finally get ready. Tank 4, you're grabbing 2 of the next 3. As a reminder, tanks, please do not use any self-heals. Self-heals can cause those hallway soldiers to aggro onto you, and then that is very annoying for your DPS. Just let your healers heal you, pop your mech. Okay, healers. At this time, if you're marked Hex 5, 6, 7, 8, you can use your Glare, Dosis, Boil, Malefic to grab one of them. Do not fight over aggro, just let whoever has aggro of a green slime have it. Pull that back to your respective corners. And tanks, you can target that slime, but do not provoke it yet. Target the slime your healers brought you, but do not provoke it yet. Make sure you're lined up so that the small slime is between you and the big one. And tanks, on the count of 3, you can provoke. 1, 2, 3, provoke. Make sure that those 2 slimes are in the middle of each other. Make sure that the middles are touching as best as possible. They will not merge otherwise. Seems like all of them are merging. Perfect. Everyone can run out into the hallway and run to the north. We have ruptures. Everyone run out into the hallway and run to the north. Run to the hallway, run to the north, and then run to the far corner. Healers, if you see someone falling behind, please rescue them. In addition, this is your last chance to build any job gauge. The more job gauge you have, the more damage you can do on the first encounter. Make sure you have both your ether flows, make sure you have all your lunar and solar naughties. Any damage that you can get, go ahead and get it. Okay, we can go ahead and tuck in the corner. We have done a very good job. At this time, make sure no one in your party is dead. If someone is dead, please say something and yell chat. Healers, go res them. Otherwise, you can go ahead and take that jump pad up. Once you take the jump pad up, at the bottom of the stairs, there are going to be 2 chests. Make sure you grab both of them as they are personal spoils. I cannot grab them for you, I cannot take them from you, whether I wanted to or not, which in this case, I promise you I don't. With that said, assuming everyone is alive and has jumped back up, I'm going to go and put out the Seeker Waymark. And I'm going to officially welcome you to the first boss. From this point forward, there are actual bosses with actual mechanics. These are basically 4 extreme fights in a row, but there's a lot more leniency on damage and dying, so it won't be too bad. Okay, before I explain the mechanics though, I'm going to fully explain lost actions. As I said earlier, lost actions are the most important part of DRS arguably more important than actually doing the mechanic. If you are not using lost actions properly, you will deal basically no damage. Before I mimic, let me go ahead and start giving you a bubble and shell. Yeah, if you are not properly using lost actions, you will deal basically no damage. It's just gonna be a bad time. If you look into your learning, there are a couple guides on how to use them, but a couple of guidelines. If it has a 2-minute cooldown, unless I say up to hold your 2-minute bursts, you're just going to use them whenever they come back up. You want to use all your biggest, strongest buttons, so if you're a Dragoon, you want to use your Life of the Dragon, all your jumps, all of that. If you're a Paladin, you want to make sure you put your Requiescat, stat, your Fight or Flight. Whatever job you're playing, do as much damage within that Font of Power burst window as possible. You want as much damage under it as humanly possible, as it is such a huge multiplier. Now, something has a 90-second cooldown, something like Banner of Honored Sacrifice, something like Chain Spell, something like Dervish, you typically want to hold it for the 2-minute window as well. In this game, buffs are multiplicative. So for my Font of Power, plus my Fight or Flight, those 2 buffs multiply each other. The Fight or Flight makes the Font of Power 25% stronger. The Dervish will make it, X amount stronger. The Banner of Honored Sacrifice will make it X amount stronger. You want to make sure to stack as many buffs as possible within those 2-minute burst windows. So if you have Chain Spell, Banner of Sacrifice, Dervish, please hold it for that window. And again, as I said earlier, if you're in a party that has 2 physical range DPS with that Dervish action, you want to also make sure to stack those, you also want to make sure that you keep 100% uptime. So for one of you, instead of using it on the 2-minute window, you're going to use it as soon as the first one expires, which is like on the 1-minute window. There's a little more leniency with Dervish since it's only a 90-second cooldown, but do try to chain those uses back to back so there's 100% uptime. Now, other key actions. The next biggest action that we're going to have to deal with is Cure 4. As I said earlier, Cure 4 is the main source of healing for your party. It's also probably the largest heal in this instance, I believe, outside of like a savior tank, who's like trolling and doing negative damage. At this time, I'm gonna do the what is it called? Like example everyone else does. Healers, if you could use your AoE heal, you know, your Medica, your Helios, you know, use that AoE heal on your party, and notice how much it does. My healer's Medica 2 just healed me for 28k and it's like 15k ticks. Okay, now, Cure 4 casters, could you go ahead and use Cure 4 for me? Just use 1 charge. You'll notice that everyone not only got that Lost Bravery buff, but you also just healed everyone for like 25k. Cure 4 is roughly 5 to 10 times stronger than your healer's AoE heals, so it is up to you to heal your party, not your healers. Your healers are just there as backup in case you go down. If anyone is taking significant damage, use Cure 4. There's a bleed on the party, use Cure 4. If you notice your Bravery buff is about to run out, like it has like 5-10 seconds left on it, use Cure 4. You have some of the most responsibility in the raid, since you not only have to keep it alive, you are also responsible for 10% of your party's damage, so make sure you're using Cure 4. Okay, that's basically it for explanations. Healers, you may notice you have Lost Arises. Lost Arise, you just want to use it if someone goes down. If you're new, I recommend just wait till the end of the fight, raise anyone that's dead. But if your Cure 4 caster goes down, it might be a good idea to also res them, get them back up as well. Okay, that's it for Lost Actions. Truly, that's the end of the explanations there. Go ahead and wiggle around for me. There's a 10-minute AT kick timer. I'm going to try and make sure these are the longest explanations in the instance. With that said, I'm going to do the Trinity Secret Guide and explain a couple explanations for it. Explain a couple of the mechanics there as well. It's like Guide TS, right? Okay. If you look into DRS learning, you will notice that there is a little card at the bottom. Those are basically my explanations distilled into one image. So if you want to use that as a reference, along with the other images above it, you can. Alternatively, I also have a little PowerPoint guide. While I think it is much outclassed as far as like pre-run preparation by the other resources I've made, it's very good for going along with mid-run explanations, showing you visuals of some of the mechanics that I talk about, as well as explaining some of the ones I don't talk about as well. If you want to go ahead and open that up as well to follow along with the explanations, see videos of what I'm talking about, then you can do that as well. For Trinity Seeker, there's only a couple mechanics I'm going to explain. The first of which is Fourfold Mercy. Now, Fourfold Mercy is a normal build mechanic. It's the exact same as normal. However, it is about 3 times faster. So instead of like dodging out of the orange at your feet, you have to move preemptively. I am going to call this safe side's boss relative. So if I say like back, back, front, front, I'm saying where to stand for each of the slashes. You'll start at the boss's back for 2 slashes, then move to the front. Make sure that you are moving before the orange is under your feet, because if you move after, you're going to be counted as in the AoE, you're going to get hit, you're going to take damage, and get a ruined stack. There is a chance that we get a pattern that is like left, right, right, left. That would be, again, starting on the boss's left side. However, this time you would have to make 2 movements. You would have to move after the first and the third. I can promise you, if you listen to callouts, you will only need to make a maximum of 2 movements for this mechanic. And I will, again, call based on the boss's facing. Okay, The second mechanic I'm going to explain is the one that happens right after every fourfold Mercy, and that is Seasons of Mercy. During Seasons of Mercy, this is again a normal mode mechanic. It's also from the Juno Alliance raids. I only did them like once or twice, so I actually don't remember the mechanic name. But it's the same thing as there. There's going to be a set of ice lines for you to dodge alongside a gaze from one of the 1, 2, 3, or 4 markers. I'm going to tell you to just dodge the ice and look away from the orb. After that, there's going to be another set of ice lines, and then you have a second to move before the pink circle expands and explodes. I'll tell you to dodge the ice and then move to a marker. So an example call for this mechanic might be dodge ice, look away from orb, dodge ice, moved to. During this mechanic, if you're new, even if you've cleared but you're still newer, I'd recommend you to stop attacking. Don't worry about the uptime, especially during the gaze. That's the number one way people die, trying to keep the rotation going, but not actually avoiding the gaze properly and then dying because of it. Okay, that's Seasons of Mercy. I'd say Seasons is the hardest mechanic for new people, and it's part of why this fight is considered the hardest, not just for new people, well, the second hardest for new people, and the hardest even once you learn the entire instance. The mechanics are simple, but they're so fast. Okay, there's one final mechanic. There's a Savage exclusive mechanic, and that it's the Ifrit dashes from like Ifrit. They're also in Ravana, so sometimes they're called Ravana dashes. There's going to be clones that explode on the outside of the arena, so you need to start in the middle to dodge those explosions. And then they will dash through the middle of the arena, so you need to get out and run into the AoEs as they go off. This mechanic will always come with something else. For example, there might be a knockback or hide from that normal mode. There might also be a fourfold Mercy that I will call for you. Whatever else is happening, make sure that you dodge the Ifrit dashes, and then you dodge the knockback hide, the fourfold Mercy, whatever it is. Okay, that's basically all the explanations. At this time, I'm going to ask everyone to turn off their tank stances. If you are not me, myself, and I, please turn off your tank stance. In addition, if you are ready to go, you have everything you need, come to the C waymarker for me. If you have questions, again, there are no bad questions. As I told Slimeside, no matter how dumb it sounds to you, I promise I've heard like 5 dumber questions. So please ask whatever questions you need. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give out Gel and Bubble to our non-pure essence gamers. I am waiting for movement from Chaos, from Wobble, from Blitz, from Dellinger, from Yeva. Please move on to see if you are ready, and please ask any questions that you might have. For the Cure 4, make sure that you are keeping the Bravery up. The Bravery is arguably more important than the healing. It is a 10% boost. Make sure that buff is up. And then also you want to make sure to heal any incoming damage, but number one, first and foremost, heal your party. I gave Bubble out to you and UT, I think.
Hazel needs it. Well, he doesn't need it yet.
Hazel doesn't need
It'll
it.
be fine.
I mean, if you're going Gambler, you should know how to live without Bubble. You'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and start a countdown. Wait, before I do that, I need a low movement from Yeva. Yeva, if you could move around for me, make sure that you are here. Perfect. I see Dellinger typing. At this time, I'm gonna start a 30-second countdown. As a reminder, turn off your tank stances if you are not me. If someone else gets aggro, I'm going to be very disappointed. I won't be mad, just disappointed. In addition, make sure you're ready to do as much damage as possible. If you have potions, if you have raid food, pop those. And then as soon as we pull, you're going to want to do your 2-minute burst. You want to pop your lost actions, do all your damage, do as much damage as possible. The more damage we have, the less mechanics we see, the easier the fight is. We're going ahead and pulling. This fight starts with a raid wide. Healers, please don't use too much mitigation. There's a buff limit. We want to make sure you don't use extra mitigation. Just leave the healing to your Cure 4 casters. Cure 4s, use that healing now. Next up is going to be a 4-fold Mercy. Go ahead and get close to the boss so that it's easy to dodge. you can start towards like the 2 marker. Easy, we're gonna be on the right of the boss for 2 slashes, then move over. Start on the right of the boss. Count 1, 2, move through. Count 1, 2, dodge ice and look away from the orb. Dodge ice again and move towards 2. North is also safe. Go ahead and stack up together. Get under the boss's hitbox. Stack under the boss's hitbox away from ignore 1. Front back is also safe, but under it is the safest place to be. And get away from ignore 1. There's going to be 2 tank busters. The first one I invuln, the second one I don't. Go ahead and stack together. Here for casters, make sure you're keeping that bravery up. And stack together, there's going to be vault chains. Please wait to move until the icon disappears. Wait to move until the icon disappears. Stack together, wait to move until the icon disappears. Once it does, move apart and get behind a barrier. Get behind a barrier. Get behind a barrier after breaking chains. And you can get back in on the boss, get towards the middle as it's going to be a set of Efreet dashes. Your 2 minutes are coming up, but do not use them yet. Hold on to your 2 minutes here. We're getting out towards the B marker. Get out towards B. We're going to rotate through the dashes and get behind the barrier. Do not move past C. Get behind the barrier. Do not go past C. Behind the barrier. And as you're going back in, you can use those 2 minutes. Use your 2-minute buffs and stack together. There's going to be a line stack followed by baited AoBs. Stack together for the line stack and stay stacked as there's going to be baited AoBs. This is the easiest mechanic in the instance arguably. Simply move out of the orange at your feet. Ready, set, and dodge out of orange. Once you dodge out of the orange, you will also need to look at the ground as you are standing on blue brick. Stand on blue brick anywhere on the arena. Anywhere on the arena, blue brick. Afterwards, get into cardinals of the boss. 3 and 4 are safe. Max melee is also safe, but a little scary. And I'm dragging the boss back middle. We're about to have another downtime mechanic. Go and get towards the middle of the arena. Get ready for another downtime mechanic. Head out against the barrier towards 4. Out against the barrier towards 4. And run around towards 1. It's going to be a double movement pattern. We're starting behind the boss, then moving through after the first. Start behind the boss, move through after 1. Move through. And count 1, 2, move through again. Move through again. Dodge ice and look away from the orb. Dodge ice again, move towards 2. 2 is safe. Anywhere north is safe, really. Stack together for those chains. After breaking the chains, come back together for a raid wide. Break your chains, come back together for a raid wide. Here for casters, you're going to heal everyone back up after this goes off. Here for casters, heal everyone back up. There's also a buster, so stay away from ignore 1. Perfect. Everyone can get back towards the middle of the arena. We're gonna have that 4-fold mercy with that sand and stone. Do the first sand or stone, dodge 4-fold mercy, then dodge the last. You can start towards the 1 waymark. Easy, behind the boss for 2, then to the front of the boss. But first, we are standing on a brown sand. Brown sand. Stand on brown sand, then count 1, 2. 1, 2, move through. Move to blue brick. Under the boss is safe. Blue brick. We're gonna have 1 more of those at random, followed by Seasons of Mercy. Stand on blue brick once again. For this Seasons, you're dodging ice, looking away, dodging ice, then lines. Dodge ice, look away. Dodge blue, then orange. Dodge blue, then orange. And move north. Boss gonna be dying here. 1 last raid wide, but it's not even gonna go off. Okay, at this time, do not move ahead. There are going to be traps ahead that Ballpark Hot Dog is going to percept for us.
I'm dead. I'm up. I'm
That's
up.
crazy. That's my duelist? Insane.
I have 0 gauge now. Go ahead.
Insane.
I died too.
I feel bad because one of my healers probably used like 20 reses and did not get me up.
At this time,
I
speaking of
appreciate
resing, healers, please go ahead and res any dead bodies on the ground. Usually one person should focus on resing one person.
Actually, how did you die in both? 1 second.
I
Me?
did not look at the third ring.
Okay, I have no idea. I swear to God, I turned my camera and I still got petrified. Fuck. Anyways.
No, it's fine. Okay, at this time though, we're gonna wait for these people to go ahead and get rezzed. Once everyone is rezzed, please head towards the Dahu arena. There's gonna be a glowing pad, but that pad is for one person and one person only, and unfortunately that is Ballpark Hot Dog.
Wow.
Ballpark is going to also need some buffs from their party. Ballpark, I trust you to manage that. Everyone else, please go to the right, head towards Dahu's arena, but do not enter it. In fact, I'm gonna ask everyone to come back towards these doors at Dahu's arena. If we touch the Dahu boss before Ballpark goes and starts the duel, then Ballpark will not be able to take the pad and may not be able to start the duel. So please wait back here. We're gonna wait to actually enter the arena until we have seen Ballpark start the duel. Ballpark, if you need to organize, please go ahead.
I'm just asking right now. Make sure we're off cooldown.
And again, healers, please keep resing people if there are any dead bodies still. Now is also a good time to remind you all to please make sure to grab that personal spoils. There is one in Trinity Seeker's arena. After this fight, there's going to be a jump pad. Once we take that jump pad down, there's going to be no way back to get Seeker's chest. So now as your not quite last, but good reminder to go grab your personal spoils if you have not already. Okay, there's a countdown, but this is not for Dahu. Please do not look at Dahu, touch Dahu, interact with Dahu. This is for the duelists to get their buffs. While Ballpark is doing that, I'm going to go ahead and put down some markers. These markers are going to fully explain Dahu for you, okay? So for Dahu, you really want to make sure to dodge the B, the A, and the D. Dodge out of the orange bad puddles, and you will be fine. That's all this boss is really about. Feel free to approach the arena, but please do not touch Dahu. Get into the arena, but do not target Dahu, do not look at Dahu, do not touch Dahu. Okay, we can all get into the arena and pull Dahu now. Make sure to use lost actions here. Use lost actions here. This boss has mechanics that can kill people. Range, you can step away from the boss. Melee, go ahead and keep uptime. Dodge the orange at your feet. Do not get hit. There's going to be more orange, and then there's going to be a set of dashes. Dahu will dash to the north, then the south. Go ahead and get towards the south of the arena. Do not follow Dahu's dashes, and do not be on 3. Do not be on 3. Get back in and dodge its big conal attack. Again, use one set of actions. We want to make sure that this pickle dies. I'm going to drag it back to the middle, but ranged, you can go ahead and stay out. There's going to be some line AoBs to dodge. Again, range, you can stay out. Now, if you get a marker on your head, take it out to any of the ads on the wall. Again, if you get a marker, take it out to any ad. Any ad, just take it out. Take those dots to any ad. After this, there's going to be a left-right cleave. This is the reason I tell range to get away. Either outrange this or stand on the safe side, stand on the left, stand on the right side, and move into the AoB. Move into the AoB. Now, find a spot that has no lion and get knocked back into it. Towards 2 is safe, towards the south is safe. If you have a gap closer, you can in fact gap close. There's a very small window. Everyone should get towards B now. Get towards B or D. Get towards B or D. We're going to follow these breaths around. Count 1, 2, and the ignore one is now safe if you want to just stand still and hit the boss. Ignore one is safe. Okay, next up is going to be some odds. Please AoE these down, and healers, please make sure to use some GCD heals on me. This is again one of those few times where they are actually used in this instance. If you haven't already used one charge of actions, please do so now. I'm spinning the boss to go ahead and group up all of these lions. However, even if it did nothing, I would still do it because it's funny. And at my heart, I am still just a troll. Keep AoEing these down and kill the boss. This is your last chance to build any job gauge for our next set of bosses. Go ahead and kill this boss. Next up is going to be everything all at once. There's going to be lines, there's going to be puddles, there's going to be cleaves. Dodge everything. And kill the boss. Perfect. Okay, now is actually your last chance to get any of the loot. Healers, please arise any dead bodies. And go ahead and get your tree secret chest if you have not already. Okay, go and take that jump pad if you have gotten both of your personal spoils. Healers, make sure you arise any dead bodies. I don't know if we had any DCs. I sure hope we didn't. And we can head down towards the QG arena once everyone is back alive. Again, healers, you want to stay up there to res because once we drop down, there is no way back. Okay, welcome to Queensguard. Queensguard is going to be, this is normally where the longest explanations take place. However, I'm going to try to explain as little as possible here. However, there are still going to be some explanations, so if you're experienced, you could probably like go get a sandwich or a snack or something. That said, before you go anywhere, I'm going to go ahead and put up some setup markers. If I could please have healers stand on the 1, 2, 3, 4, A, and C way markers. I will need one healer, or anyone with a lot of light curtains really, to stand on each of the 1, 2, 3, 4, A, and C way markers. These correspond to spots in the arena. There will be light orbs that you need to stand on to reflect them. So again, this can be a healer, but it can also just be anyone with a lot of light curtains. Okay, perfect. We have one healer on each waymarker. Healers. I will explain these mechanics later, but please just remember the waymark that you are standing on. These waymarks will correspond to the ones in the arena. Again, I'll explain it later, but you're basically just going to be reflecting 2 orbs with your light curtain by popping a light curtain and standing under it. Yeah, more on that later. I'm going to go and put up the real waymarkers. And there we go. Okay, welcome to Queensguard. Again, that's normally where the most explanations take place, but we are going to try to reduce that here. In fact, we are going for a Queensguard world record. Okay, welcome to Queensguard. I'm going to go and put out the guide command for Queensguard. I think it is just guide QG. Let me make sure I don't put that in the patch spoilers thread. If you can once again either look at the /guide command, or you can look at the beginner's fight guide. Just keep in mind that the I haven't updated that guide in a while, so the /guide command has the actual updated info for Dawn Trail. That's notable mostly for the Steel Sing Small Forge chart. Okay. So Queensguard has a couple core mechanics. I'm going to explain one mechanic for each of the first phases. Okay, the first phase. We're instead of facing one bot at a time, we're going to face 2. Our first phase is going to be against the warrior and the knight. The one most important mechanic you have to keep in mind is reversal of forces. Reversal of forces is a tether that the warrior does. It also applies a debuff, and this will reverse how you have to do the mechanic. So for example, if you have a tether, you just need to pay attention to whether you have a tether or not, as I will call where to go based on if you get one or not. I will say something like, if you have a tether, you are going to large. Otherwise, you're going to small boss. I might also say something like, tethers, you will go to the swirly wind puddles on the ground or the crackly lightning one. And if you don't, you'll go to the crackly lightning. Just listen to callouts and look at the ground. The bombs mechanic is basically the same as normal mode, except he can also tether you now. So you'll just have to check if you have a tether or not, and then listen to where I say. By the way, again, it will apply a debuff on you. The debuff will look like this. Okay, I actually lied. I'm going to explain a second mechanic from this phase because it does come up later in the instance. During this first phase, there will also be a sword or shield omen mechanic. Okay, this is where I see the most people get a ruin stack or just die. In this instance, or in this fight at least. So it's very, very important that you make sure to follow along. Okay, the knight is going to disappear from the arena and appear at the edge, and there will be a big bomb in the center of the arena. If before disappearing the knight does a shield omen, then it will knock everyone back, including the bomb. You will have to get knocked towards the knight, but not directly in line with it, as where it is running through the arena will also give you a doom stat. So again, if it is a shield omen, you need to get knocked back, like, perpendicular. If you remember geometry class, you get knocked perpendicular or at a right angle. Alternatively, just get knocked towards it, and don't be in its direct path, as you will get a ruin stack if you are in its path of dashing. There is a variation where it does a sword omen instead. If it does a sword omen though, it's very, very easy. Instead of getting knocked back, you just stand on the edge of the arena, as there's going to be a big explosion through the middle. Just stand on your bomb on the edge of the arena if it is a sword omen. Okay, that is the first phase. I think we're on world record pace. The second phase features the reading mechanic. If you remember, not to mention normal, but the Mystario fight in Orban Monastery, or any of the fights against Gabriel, or even Dalriada if you have like piss poor damage, there's the mechanic where it puts the rings around you. You will get a ring with one open side. You need to point that gap towards any incoming damage. In this fight, as well as the final fight Queen, there's always going to be two sources of damage. A raid wide from the center of the arena, and then a set of line AoEs from the edge. So, during this mechanic, when you get the reading circle, stop attacking. Face yourself, so that the gap is pointing towards the middle of the arena. Once you see a damage number, while you're waiting for the damage number, find the turret that is pointing at you. Once you see that damage number pop up, turn yourself so that the gap faces the turret that's pointing at you. That's the reading mechanic. Again, this is not an uptime mechanic unless you really know what you're doing. Even I get a ruin stack getting uptime there like half the time, just because of bad timing. So if you are newer, just stop attacking. I highly recommend, okay? You will be fine. You will live without a couple GCDs. Okay, that is the first two phases. The final phase. This is the most complicated and it requires a whole infographic of its own. Well, actually, some might say it's not that complicated because it only needs one infographic, but it has a lot of info on it. Okay, so first things first, healers. If you remember standing on those markers correspond to waymarks in the arena. So for example, for the healer that stood at 4, once we kill both the two phases, we're going to have the bosses disappear. The wards are gonna spawn just like in normal mode, with the shields that need to be killed. Before you kill them though, healers, you will need to reflect 2 orbs, okay? If you sit on 1, 2, 3, or 4, there are going to be 2 orbs next to your marker. If you're at 4, so there will be 1 right here, and then there will be 1 right here. For the healer that stood on 3, there's instead going to be 1 like right here, and 1 like right here. What you're going to need to do, okay? You're going to use a light curtain. You're going to stand under the first one. Once the AoE goes off, press another light curtain and run under the second orb near your marker. You can technically get both of them with one of them, but that requires actually timing it, and I will not expect that out of you. You have lots of light curtains, so you will be fine, okay? Just press a light curtain, stand under an orb, press another, stand under another. Odds are, we are going to have to do this twice, unless damage is really, really good, okay? So, be ready. Once you do it, once you kill both your orbs, you can go heal your tank. If they have a living dead popped, you can kill the wards, but be ready to go back to the orbs ASAP. Okay, second, there are going to be aura spheres. This is the mechanic that the tanks and DPS have to deal with. If you are a tanks, it will be your job as soon as that phase starts, to turn on your tank stance. If you have an invuln up at all, just turn on your tank stance during that phase, and you will fight for aggro of the aura spheres. When the aura sphere dies, it will attempt to kill whoever was top in aggro. So, if you get a big red spike above your head, like a marker above your head, you will pop your invuln and take that hit, and then you can turn off your tank stance. Everyone else, if you're a DPS or a healer not assigned, please focus down the aura spheres, and then as soon as they die, go to the wards. Final word about the wards. During the wards phase, the wards are going to have these hexagonal patterns on them. This is the same as normal mode, however it is much scarier, because in addition to giving a ruin stack, they will also give you a big knockback that could knock you into the death wall. So, during this phase, don't use any big AoEs like a size, like your standard stack. Don't use barrage and then hit the hexagonal shield because you will instantly die. Ask me how I know, I've done it. Make sure that when you are killing the wards, if you do not see the hexagonal shields on them, stop attacking for a second and wait for the hexagonal shields to reappear, and then go back to hitting. I will remind you of this. Okay, that's basically it for QG Explains. Again, I explained only a couple things because most things can be called out. There's a couple other assignments I need to do though. First and foremost, there's one healer mechanic that I did not go over. Healers, you should have Steel Sea and Spellforge in your holster. This is going to be the fight that you use them, okay? At this time, slot over whichever action is not like your Chain Spell, your Seraph Strike, your Full Cure. Slot over your least important action, which is probably like an Arise, with Steel Sting or Spellforge. You will need one healer per party with Steel Sting or Spellforge. If you are the only healer in your party, then actually I'll go over that at the end. Healers, it is your job to make sure people can actually do damage, okay? I'm going to repost this graphic. It is the most important part of the fight. It happens at the very beginning, but it is very important. At the very start of the first phase, there is going to be a tether between the two guards. This tether will be either purple or yellow. You will need to apply the opposite color of this tether. If you're colorblind, like purple-yellow, I think that's like a very specific type of colorblindness. I am so sorry. I will still call it purple or yellow, but I'll also say Steel Sting or Spellforge. If the tether is purple, you apply Steel Sting to everyone in your party. If it's purple, if the tether is yellow, you apply Spellforge to everyone in your party. Okay? Make sure everyone gets it, as a lot of jobs will deal hybrid damage. For example, like Paladin, Dark Knight, even like Red Mage, they all do hybrid damage. So you need to make sure everyone gets that buff. If you're a healer and you have someone like myself, whoever the other main tank is going to be, or Ballpark Hot Dog in your party, please make sure they get prioritized, as we have special roles that will need to be fulfilled. For our solar healers, just wait until the tether goes out and then slot whichever one you need. So if I say something like, party needs yellow, you can slot in your Steel Sting over your least important action and give it out to everyone. If I say Spellforge, you can also just do the opposite there. Alternatively, you can just slot in your Spellforge now, give it out to everyone, and then slot in Steel Sting if needed. That is gambling. However, I think gambling is a sin, so I don't recommend it, but that is the technical, better way to do it. Okay, that is everything, actually, for real. Go ahead and wiggle around for me. Wiggle around. And we're going to go ahead and get started, but first I will need one volunteer to be my co-tank. You'll be taking the wall bosses, you'll be taking the middle bosses. Okay, we have these fucking trolls. I'm giving it to Carlana, because I would trust Carlana with my life as well. Carlana, you'll take the mid bosses. I'll take both the turrets, I'll dispel, I'll do all of it. Yeah, just fire. Okay, I'm gonna give out Shell and Bubble to our off essences, that is unfortunately including Hazel. And at this time, if you are ready, please stand on the 4-way marker for me. As a note, do not target the Queen's Guard. You can actually walk up and get into melee range with them without pulling. However, if you right click on them and auto attack, then it will still pull. Even I have done this. Do not be the one who causes an early pull and causes have to run out of the arena and reset. It's going to be annoying. Just don't target them until the end of the countdown, and you will be fine. Okay? I see movement from everyone. Our physical battery is going to be Owl Roan. If you are someone who is excellence chaining, please get ready to mimic Owl Roan. I'm going to go ahead and start a 30-second countdown. If you are not near Carlana, make sure your tank stance is off at this point. Feel free to walk up, but again, do not target the bosses. Healers, you can start pre-applying Spellforge or Steel Sting to physical and magical jobs respectively. If the healer wants to give me and Carlana Spellforge now, that would be appreciated. But we're going to go ahead and pull. Get ready to do your big burst right now, and Cure 4 casters, go ahead and use that Cure 4. Get that bravery going, get your big burst damage going. We are going to start with some raid wides, but these are not real scary, just be ready to heal up with Cure 4. Cure 4 casters heal everyone back up, and bosses are going away. We're pulling the warrior to the wall, the soldier to the middle. Warrior to the wall, knight to the middle, yeah. Go ahead and focus on the knight some, and apply Spellforge. Main tanks need Spellforge. Please apply Spellforge. Okay, we're going to have the first Relentless Battery. It's going to be that knight, that knockback or hide mechanic alongside the tethers. Okay, we're going to be taking a bomb at the edge of the arena. Check for a tether now. If you're tethered, you will go to a large bomb. If not, go to a small bomb. Others to large, rest to small. Others to large, rest to small. Others to large, rest to small. If you are tethered, as soon as you are able to move where a small bomb was. For example, under the warrior. Move where a small bomb was, and then focus damage on the knight. We're gonna have a raid wide in a second. This is normally going to hurt a lot, but this time it's not because I unfortunately have 2 era. Cure 4 casters, get ready to heal everyone up. Cure 4 casters, heal everyone back up. Keep that bravery going. Next up is going to be another tether mechanic. Oh, I know I can, but it's just like, it's a safety thing. It's less annoying, you know. If you are tethered, you're going to go to a swirly wind puddle. Everyone else is going to crackly lightning. Tethers to wind, rest to lightning. Run away from the middle of the boss. Get ready to collapse back in. Press sprint, run under the knight in the middle. And get out past the C marker. Get out past C. Out past C. Sorry for that late call. We're gonna have another raid fight.
Warrior.
Focus damage on the warrior. Focus damage on the warrior. And Cure 4 casters, heal everyone back up. Kill the warrior, then the knight. We're gonna have a little tank buster here. And healers, at this time you no longer need Steel Sting or Spellforge. Healers, you no longer need Steel Sting or Spellforge. We're pulling the soldier to the wall, the gunner to the center. Okay. Next up, the funny Firefrog joke here, whatever. I mean, it's 2025 and we're still saying this joke. Like, this is gonna be that reading mechanic though. You're gonna get a circle around you. We're going to first run towards 4. Run towards 4. And point your gap towards the middle of the arena. Stop attacking if you need to. Oh, I miscalled that completely. My bad. Point your gap towards the middle. And then to a turret on the wall. Pour it on the wall. Gap towards a turret on the wall. Perfect. Okay, next up is going to be tank busters. Apologies for the miscall. I'm fucking washed. There's going to be a little tank buster followed by a raid wide. I will take both of the turrets again, Carlana. Keep focusing on damage. Healers, focus on rising any dead bodies. Here's that raid wide. Triple casters, heal everyone back up. Dude, I'm fucking washed. Okay, get ready for Next is going to be a turret mechanic. This is a damage check. You will need to focus down the turrets. We will need to kill the turrets here. Again, I will get both of them. Feel free to focus on the one towards the gunner, but kill both the turrets. Kill those turrets. There's a small raid wide trip for casters. Get ready to heal everyone back up after this raid wide. Perfect. Okay, next up is going to be fire or ice. This is the same as a Dromalek. You're either going to keep moving or mash escape and stop. It's fire. Mash escape, stop moving, untarget the bosses, do not do anything. Stop moving. It's a pyretic. And you can hit the bosses again. Here for casters, heal anyone who took that. And we're gonna have the funny jumping clone mechanic probably. This is gonna be another reading mechanic. Get ready for another reading mechanic. It's gonna be that same show hole. Okay. I'm just gonna follow the clone to see if someone wants to follow the declone they can, but otherwise focus the gunner, please. Okay, both north ones are safe. Second jump, all towards 3 is safe. All towards 3 is safe. Never mind. Okay, tank stats is on. Healers go to your waymarkers. If you're a healer and you are down, please say something in a yell chat. Focus down the aura spheres. Focus down the aura spheres. Tanks, if you have invul, turn on your stance. Healers, press your light curtain, reflect. Don't stand under the orbs. And go kill the ethereal wards. All those ethereal wards. Careful casters, heal everyone. That is a lot of orbs missed.
Northwest is missed both.
Yeah, I will cover northwest. Stop attacking. And you can hit the wards now. Get ready for a second set of orbs though. Second set of orbs. Second set of orbs. Focus on the aura spheres, the spiritual spheres. Aura spheres, spiritual spheres, #1 focus. Once the aura spheres are dead, go back to the ethereal wards. Healers, keep an eye out. If someone is a dark knight, they will need healing. Kill the ethereal wards. We're kind of far from that. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, a lot of dead bodies. Unfortunate miscall. Go ahead and res anyone. I will ask that if someone does not have a pure essence and they are dead, please do not raise them. Except for quit try. I gave that guy the okay. If someone does not have a pure essence and they are not quit trying or himbo hooters, please do not res them. We are running low on our vices. And you can go ahead and head on down to the Phantom Arena. After Phantom, we are going to take a quick break, like a 5-minute break. We are still plenty on pace. And yeah, we'll be fine. Okay, Phantom actually has my favorite mechanic of the instance, but we are not going to see it. Like, I cannot remember the last time we saw it, so... yeah, sadly there is just no way. Finish rising the dead bodies, get quit trying and Ruja up, please. And yeah.
I feel bad. I should have said something, but I was too busy running from the not safe spot to the safe spot to say anything.
Hey, at least you dodged the thing.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, it's just an
Blind
unfortunate
faith.
miscall. We'll be fine.
Most hosts have done it. I did it like what, 4 or 5 months ago.
I did it 2 nights ago.
Dude, if we wiped on
You will see
Queensbar,
people do it like fucking 8 more times during my color.
that would not even, like, that wouldn't even be top 3, like, worst Queensguard miscalls. Of mine, specifically. Dude. All 3 of them are from the run where I tried to call after my grandmother passed away, and then we fucking wiped to Queensguard. That run, that is my worst run ever. We also wiped to barracks like 6 times. It was awful.
Jeez.
Okay. Again, we're gonna have a break after this. Please don't take a break here. Go and step across the purple line if you are ready. Okay. There is... okay, any lost action charges you have. You should have like 1 or 2 fun of powers, banners, whatever. This is where you're going to use them because we are going to replace those after this fight. So again, please step across the purple line if you're ready. If you have re-raisers and do not have the buff active, please use those re-raisers. Otherwise, we're going to get started in just a second. As a reminder though, tanks, please turn off your tank stance at this point. From this point forward, you will not need your tank stance on until our final trash boss. Okay, if you do not get rezzed, you can try and stay on the ground, but you will get kicked after 10 minutes anyways. So generally we try and avoid leaving people on the ground unless, like, obviously you're one of the people with the non-standard essences and we are very low on our rises. But yeah, like during Queen, for example, yeah, unless you like die during Queen only, then yeah. Okay, at this point, again, go and step across the purple line. I think everyone is ready. I'm gonna go and start a nice long 6-second countdown. Make sure your tank stances are off. Use whatever lost actions you have. Perfect. Again, use your lost actions here. Use your big burst. Do whatever damage you can. Nothing ever happens in bossing say. And I'm gonna pull the boss towards the wall. Stances off. Mage. Stances off, please. Stances off. We're gonna run towards D. Run towards D. Stand on D and notice the dots on the ground ahead of us. For every flash of orange, move forward 1 dot. For every flash of orange, move forward 1 dot. Move forward. Move forward. I will try to keep giving you uptime, but just focus on moving forward. Don't go too fast or too slow, you will die to the miasma. And stop at 4, there's a death wall. And move over to 3 now. You can move over to 3 for me. We're going to be staying at 3 for a good little while. Now is a good time to build any job gauge that you may have. Make sure you have all your naughties, all your ninky gauge, all whatever. We want to do as much damage to the next boss as possible. Keep building your job gauge, but also heal the hole. We're going to count 3 flashes, then move to 4, but that's not even going to happen. As I said, we don't get to see my favorite mechanics. Up ahead, there are traps. The first traps are not going to exist for very long, I have a feeling. But the second set of traps down the stairs, we will need to clear the instance. So please do not go ahead until traps are blown up or percepted.
I'm on E-Reg. What do you want from me?
Just involve and then, like, transition like that. You'll be fine. Go down the stairs. There are traps we actually need that I cannot blow up. Okay, please avoid all traps in this section. Please do not blow up any of them. The pink ones we will need for later. The orange ones will end you. Just avoid all the traps. Do keep in mind the traps load last, so if you don't see any traps ahead of you, then your system is still loading them. Once you get down the stairs to Trinity Avowed, we're going to take a 5-minute break. But wait, before you go anywhere, if you have nothing better to do, I'm going to put the guide for Trinity Avowed into DRS Learning. Trinity Avowed is the hardest fight for anyone new. If this is your first time, you are going to die not just once, but multiple times to this boss, okay? There is only so much I can do with calls here. Most of it is personal mechanics. So if you have nothing better to do, you know, go get water, do whatever if you need to, like, do that. But if you don't need to do those things, then here's a guide for you to look at while you are gone. I'm gonna ask everyone to be back by, let's say 42, XX42, unless you're, like, one of the people in those weird 30-minute time zones, in which case it's, like, 12 past, but...
My favorite fun fact about this arena is that there's this whole, like, abyss next to us. If that fog wasn't there, you could look down far enough to see Final Fantasy 12.
The entirety. That's why loading into the zone takes so long.
Yeah, that's why the traps take forever.
The entirety of Final Fantasy 12 and MP4.
Oh god, that's a good one.
It's all down there, and it's not a speed run.
Did you also know that the seal above the arena is actually a dome?
Yeah,
and
this fight has the best dome by default.
Did you know that it's also not symmetrical?
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, some of those green tiles are not placed properly.
No. Oh my god.
No other arena has a dome in it. I don't know about the whole game, but like in DRS.
We do actually miss Eric, yes.
Absolute Virtue is best dome out there because it's incomplete.
Where's the nothing arrow gift? Let me find it. There it is. Nothing arrow. My beloved.
Would you guys like to hear a fun fact?
It better be.
You can put approximately 10% sawdust in a Rice Krispie treat before anyone notices.
That wasn't fun. Make it 20.
Well, then you would notice.
Maybe
So
you
far,
would.
even
I'm a
50%.
moron. I wouldn't notice anything. You could probably shape a brick of sawdust into the shape of a Rice Krispie treat and give it to me, and I still wouldn't know. That's how stupid I am.
Just gotta make sure there's enough sugar in it.
Put a little coating of sugar. That's all I need.
Yeah, just dust it. They get powdered sugar, so it's not even like the right kind of sugar.
That's the perfect kind of sugar. What are you talking about?
No, for Rice Krispies. It's
Oh, true.
usually like gluey melted sugar. You know.
Oh, well, you can just replace
Marshmallows.
that with glue.
Yeah,
Glue
wood
and sawdust. Perfect.
Yeah, wood glue. Just hand ballpark a plate of spaghetti and tell him it's a Rice Krispies treat.
Oh, man, that's my favorite kind of Rice Krispie treat.
I should make like authentic goulash sometime. I was thinking about it because I made some like pasta American goulash the other day. It was good.
I've been cooked in a little bit in my place. I don't know if you heard, I bought a condo.
I have
And now I'm waiting for that to cook. It better be fun, Hazel.
Pluto did not make one orbit from when it was discovered to when it was demoted. from Saturn.
That is so sad. What do you mean it's fun?
Did you know
The
that
only
Pluto is
Pluto that-
really cool?
The only Pluto that's real to me is the dog. One time that dog waved at me.
Okay, hello, welcome back. It's the end of your union mandated break. I regret to inform you. If you want a longer break, you can renegotiate with the union. However, at this time, please go ahead and wiggle around. There is a 10-minute AFK kick timer. Do not get AFK kicked because you AFK'd for 5 minutes and then forgot to move your camera while you were listening to explanations. Even something as easy as moving your camera around, walking back and forth, whatever, will count as on AFK. Okay. At this time, I'm gonna go and start explaining Trinity about it, but again, this is a mostly personal fight, okay? There is only so much I can do for you to get you through. I can call out what is gonna happen, but I cannot tell you how to solve the mechanic because it is ultimately a personal thing. So I'm gonna go over each of the phases, how they're different from normal mode, and try and give you some advice on solving your temperatures, okay? First and foremost, let's talk about the temperatures, okay? Much like normal mode, this fight revolves around the temperatures, okay? You have your temperatures, as well as your elemental browns. your goal at the end of every phase is to have your temperature be completely neutral. So if you had a fire to temperature, for example, you would need to eventually get hit by the opposite of that, which is ice 2, and end at 0. In the second half of the fight, though, there's a new Savage exclusive mechanic, okay? This Savage exclusive mechanic is the Elemental Brands. If you have a debuff, you're going to get a debuff that will basically act as like a hit of a mechanic at the very end. Once brands are in the picture, the way I think of it is that you basically need to get your temperature to the opposite of your brands so they cancel each other out, right? Because if you were getting hit by an Ice 2 sword, you would need Fire 2 temperature. Or if you were standing in an Ice 1 meteor, you would need a Fire 1 temperature. Your goal is to make it so that it evens out at the very end of the mechanic, and brands kind of throw a wrench to that so that you don't want to get hit by the opposite of your temperature, but you need to get hit by whatever makes you opposite your brand. Some people also think of it as like math. So for example, you could think of fire as positive numbers, ice as negative numbers, and your goal is to get to 0. If you have a +2 brand, you need to get your temperature to -2 so it evens out. If you have a +2 temperature and no brand, then you need to get hit by -2 to even it out. Whatever works for you to try and comprehend the temperatures, then that is your prerogative. But that is the temperature mechanic. There are a couple other debuffs that you'll see, namely the quick march. At certain points throughout the fight, the boss is going to give people a quick march debuff. This is going to turn your character in a direction and then send you in that direction. So for example, if I had a forward march, right, I would get forward marched in the direction I'm facing, which in this case is this way. These quick marches will send you a little under 2 squares. So for example, if I was starting here, quick marching towards the middle, I would go 1 square and then into the second, but not fully all the way 2 squares. If you're a ninja, it is actually closer to like exactly 2. I think it's like 1.9, 2.1, something like that. And if you have impetus, it is like basically 4 squares. Like you can go from wall to wall with impetus, quick march. But no one should be giving you impetus with the quick marches, and if they do, they're fucking trolling, and not only are they griefing, they're also bad. So if you get an impetus, you should laugh at whoever gave it to you. That is the main debuffs. Let's get into the actual like phases. So first, what I'm going to talk about is staff phase, because staff phase is actually very similar to normal mode. The main big difference is that the meteors are much bigger. All of the meteors are bigger so that there are massive overlaps and that there is no actual safe spot in the very center. So if you get raised during this mechanic and you don't have a temperature, you actually just die again. Okay? So while staff phase is happening, healers, please don't try and res anyone. Even if it's about to come up, like I tell you to get away from the boss, just stop resing people. I will also try and remind you to as well. But that is the stop phase, otherwise it's exactly the same. There are meteors on the intercardinals. You first need to get to the middle to dodge the proximities, then go to the meteor that resolves your temperature. During the first stop phase, you're going to get a quick march as well. So you'll get quick march towards your meteor, like from the center or from an adjacent meteor. And during the second one, you will just have to run out to your meteor, but there will also be line AoEs to dodge. But yeah, that's that phase. I'd say it's the easiest phase of the 3. The second phase I'm going to talk about is bow phase. Now, bow phase is actually the hardest of the 3 phases. However, it's also pretty similar to normal mode. In fact, there is only really one key difference. In Savage, for one, the firewall kills you, but that's whatever, right? Like, it should actually just kill you in normal mode, but doesn't. But the main difference is that instead of the tracers, there are no tracers. Instead, you will have to trace the arrows down yourself. Luckily, the way the arrows go are actually very consistent. How I'm going to recommend you do it, you find the arrow that you need. So during the first bow phase, for example, this would be opposite your temperature. You're going to trace it down the pipe. However, if there's a pipe, like if it can take a turn to the left or the right, it will always take a turn. If you look into DRS Learning again, you will see that second infographic showing you how to trace the arrows down. What I recommend is just to stop attacking, and if you need to, just take your finger, trace it down. I trace it down mentally myself, but whatever works for you. As you're learning, you'll need to trace it down physically and find where the arrow ends. Luckily, once you have where your arrow ends, during the first bow phase, you are done. However, during the second bow phase is the hardest mechanic. Bow 2 is the hardest mechanic arguably in the instance, okay? You're going to get not just a temperature, but also a brand and a quick march, okay? So you will need to not only account for the brand when tracing down your arrow, but you'll also need to stand 2 squares away and get quick marched, okay? If we see bow 2, I am fully expecting half the rate to die, okay? So that's bow phase. Again, it's the hardest phase, but it is still kind of similar to normal mode. You just need to trace the arrows down yourself. Now the final phase, sword phase. Sword phase is completely different from normal mode, basically, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and post a GIF that shows, like, what happens. I'm gonna TLDR it for you. I'm going to call out a safe square, okay? With the waymarks that I use, that is going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. That square is going to be hit by nothing, okay? However, you need to get hit by something to resolve your temperature. In order to get hit by the sword you need, find the clone that has the sword you need. Step out from the safe tile in the direction it's pointing, okay? And make sure that you are not diagonal from the safe tile. So for example, if the safe tile was 1, then 4 might be where you get hit by like ice 2. 2 might be where you get hit by like fire 1. However, 3 will be getting hit by both. If you are diagonal from the safe square, you are going to get hit by 2 swords, instantly blow up, instantly die, and you're going to feel kind of silly, okay? So make sure you are stepping in a cardinal direction from the safe square, not diagonal. Now, the actual temperatures during this are actually pretty easy. During sword 1, you'll just have your temperature and you will have 2 chances to solve it, okay? Because there's going to be 2 sets of these slashes. During the second one, you're going to have a temperature and a brand, okay? I'm going to explain to you how I recommend you solve this, but if there is a different way that works for you, then that is fine, okay? The first time we see swords, just go to the safe tile on the first set of slashes and think about where you would go, okay? Then on the second set, actually solve where you go. This gives you a chance to see the mechanic, see how the slashes work, see if you would have been right in going where you go. What am I? Okay, cool. Yeah, use that first chance to see where you would go. The second sword phase, okay, you're going to get a temperature and a brand, but I actually think this is easier to solve than the first one. What you want to do, get hit by the opposite of your temperature. So if you have a fire 1 temperature, get hit by ice 1. Then, the second set of slashes get hit by the opposite of your brand, okay? So if you have a fire 2 brand, you would get hit by ice 2. This will always resolve your temperatures, okay? It's not the most efficient way. Sometimes there are patterns where you would only need to get hit once technically, or even none at all. Actually, I think that can not actually happen, but yeah. But it will always guarantee that you get hit by what you need to get hit by and you solve your brand. Okay, that is all for the mechanics. There are a couple things I need to go over still though. First and foremost, lost actions. Before I talk about this, go ahead and wiggle around, don't get AFK hit. At this time, go ahead and re-up both your actions. If you're a Cure 4 caster, you should have already done this at QG, but if not, re-up your Cure 4 plate here, and re-up your Font of Magic if you have it here. If you have a chain spell, you actually don't need to re-up it. You should have enough charges for the rest of the instance. But if you're like a melee, you need to use another Font of Power and Banner of Honored Sacrifice. Same with tanks. However, tanks, in addition, you will also need to, if you're the Aether Shield tank, now is also when you give out Shell. Slot it in over your weakest damage action, that is going to be Banner of Honored Sacrifice if you have it, and if you have Blood Rage, that is going to be your other action. You're always going to remove Banner, and always going to keep Blood Rage. Replace whatever helps you follow that rule, okay? If you are the Aether Shield tank, and then give it out to anyone behind the purple line. If you need a Shell, that is if you have less than 7 Rays of Fortitude, go behind the purple line, okay? Honestly, if you're not max Rays of Fortitude, go behind the purple line to get Shell. Shell is a great damage reduction. Okay. Once you have gotten Shell, feel free to step across the purple line to make it easier for everyone else to get theirs. Again, once you have Shell, step across the purple line for me. And at this time, if you have no other questions, step onto C for me. However, tanks, once you've given out Shell to everyone, you need to replace, if you're the Ether Shield tank, you need to slot in Ether Shield before we pull, okay? Slot over your Shell, or if you didn't give out Shell, slot over your Banner of Honor Sacrifice, and make sure someone in your party has Ether Shield. Do as I say, not as I do, because my party, I'm going to slot in Shell at pull time. But once everyone has Shell, again, step across the purple line. And once you are ready, step up to C. Okay, I'm seeing everyone ready. Now is your final reminder to turn off tank stance. If anyone has tank stance on, I'm going to be very disappointed. It seems like everyone... okay, we're waiting on TL. Okay, perfect. For M7, I prefer Kindred, but that's because I have a custom... my group does a different, like, way of it, where instead of, like, the range going out to the, like, outer corner, they just always go to 3 and 1. So it's just chill. Okay. At this time, everyone is ready. I'm going to start a 30-second countdown, okay? Now is a good time to apply more raid food. This fight really hurts, so go ahead and pop that raid food. Here for casters, towards the end of the countdown, you can also give out that Lost Bravery. If you're Mimic training, make sure you Mimic before pulling. Tanks, there are going to be raid wights called, not Glory of Boja. No, Glory of Boja, that you will need to press your Ether Shield on. I will call out when to use it, but also look for that cast bar. We are pulling. Tanks, this fight starts with a tank buster, so all of you please come up towards 3 with me. Pop a piece of mitigation or 2. Tanks, pop some mitigation and stand up front with me. Then go ahead and use Ether Shield. Use Ether Shield now. Give everyone Ether Shield, and Cure 4 casters, press Cure 4 now, and then as soon as it's off, cooldown. We're going to start away from the boss. Everyone get out and away from the boss right now. And you can get back in. And get behind the boss. Get behind the boss now. Get behind the boss. Everyone can go ahead and move in front of the boss. We're going to have a downtime phase in just a moment. Get in front of the boss now. Get in front of the boss. The boss is feeling untargetable. If you have any burst left over, now is the time to use it. Everyone is going to get a temperature. Remember, you need to get hit by the opposite of your temperature so that you even out to 0. The boss is going untargetable. Again, say goodbye to Mrs. Avowed. Our first safe spot that is hit by nothing is going to be 2. Go to 2, and then step out Cardinal. If you were on 4, you are instantly dead. Goodbye. Our second safe spot is going to be on 1. If you have not resolved, this is your last chance. If you are standing on 3, you are insta-dead. Stand on 1 if you're resolved. Cardinal of 1 to get hit. Everyone can go and stack up. Tanks, get ready to Ether Shield your party. If your co-tank Ether Shield is dead, get ready to slot yours in. Use Ether Shield now. Cure 4 is get ready to heal up the party. Now is also a good time to use Feint, Auto, Reprisal, Dismantle. Whenever you see that cast bar. Everyone can go ahead. Range, you can get away from the boss. Melee, you can stay in until light. You see the flash of light? Everyone get out now. Get out now. Get away from the boss. And you can get back in. Get towards the center of the arena. Everyone is getting a temperature and a quick march. You're going to find the meteor you need and get quick march to it. Stop attacking if you need to. Make sure your quick march does not send you into an like between two meteors. Back in the center, pop a little bit of mitigation maybe. Find the meteor you need and get force march to it. The boss is not moving. Stop attacking if you need. Find your meteor, get quick march. And you go ahead and get back in on the boss. Go ahead and stack together. Here for casters, heal people back up. We're gonna have a raid wide. Bane, Idol, Repress, Dismantle, and Ether Shield. Ether Shield, Ether Shield. Next up, everyone get south of 3. Get south of 3. The boss is gonna reposition. Get behind the boss now. Tanks, you can get back up front. There's going to be a raid wide. Tanks, get up front with me. Pop a little bit of mitigation. There's going to be a raid wide. Or sorry, there's going to be a tank buster, not a raid wide. Again, pop a couple pieces of mitt. Stack together. And check your quick march. You're going to use that to go to either B or D. Tanks, your point your quick march to D. Quick march to D. These fucking guys. Healers, if you see someone die in the wall, you can use a rescue to pull them out. Otherwise, check your temperature, find the arrow of the opposite temperature, and trace it down. Find your arrow, trace it down. Boss is not moving. Yeah, this is looking like a healer LB3 angle, I think. Okay. Wait, huh? Oh, I died to autos, rip. Oh wait, no, I died to the fucking wall. Ether Shield, mitigate, Ether Shield, mitigate, Ether Shield, mitigate. Cure for casters, heal people back up. Healers, if both your Cure 4s are dead, or if all your Cure 4s are dead, please heal as well. Okay, everyone get in front of the boss. Get in front of the boss. We're going into another downtime phase. This time with browns. Remember, even out your temperature, then get hit by the opposite of your brown. If you have any burst at this point, hold it. You're going to need a temperature and then a brown. Temperature and then brown. Get hit by the opposite of your temperature, then the opposite of your brown. Our first safe spot is on 2 yet again. Do not be on intercardinal of 2 on 4. Do not be on 4. Be cardinal of 2 or on 2. Our second safe spot is going to be 4. Go cardinal of 4 to resolve your temperature. Do not be on 2. Do not be on 2. Okay, boss is going to come back with another raid bite. Go and stack together. Cure 4s, you can go ahead and heal people a little. Stack together, Ether Shield, mitigate. Ether Shield, mitigate. We are going to hold for LB3, so we're going to do this next phase, but I don't think we actually have a choice either way. Okay. Range, you can get away now. Melee, you can wait just a little bit. Get away now. Get away from the boss. And get back in on the boss, stack together in the middle. Everyone is going to get a temperature and a brand. You will not have a force march, but you will have to walk with your own 2 feet to the safe spot. Do not raise anyone either, by the way. If both your healers are dead, please mark them. If you do not have a living healer, please mark them with a chain icon. Everyone stack in the middle, pop a little bit of myth. Get ready to run out. Run out to the meteor that you need, to the far outer, or no, north-south green, north-south green, north-south green, north-south green. Okay, healers, after this raid bite, please use your LB3, but first, Ether Shield and mitigate. Ether Shield and mitigate. Healers, please use LB3. If both your healers are dead, please mark them. LB3 now. Everyone gets south of 3, kill the boss. If your healers are dead, please mark them to be sacrificed. Tanks, please look for any dead healers and sacrifice them. Okay. We are going to go to the sides and our cardinals, never mind. Okay, we only have a couple dead bodies. That's fine. Some healers didn't get sacked, but it is a-okay. I didn't have a sack myself, because limited holster space. If anyone does have a sacrifice, I can mimic that, but otherwise, please do not go ahead. Someone left C, okay? That is unfortunate. Okay. At this time, again, do not go ahead to Queen. Before we go there, there's a special boss that we have to fight. We are a little low on our rises, so I am going to ask you guys to please focus on playing your life. Again, if you need to take a break to try and live, then that is fine. But yeah. Also focus on raising healers. Again, it's fine if you die, we still have ways to res you. We still have a good amount of rises, but we are starting to run low. Again, focus on raising any healers. If someone has a sacrifice as a tank, they can slot that in and use that on a healer. Please avoid raising the person marked with the chain 1, since they do have a veteran and would not be able to get any dead bodies up themselves. And yeah. Yeah, people marked with the chain, please just avoid raising.
Oh. Oh no.
I'm sure.
Oh, no,
Does any tank have a sacrifice? Okay. If you want to go ahead and slot sacrifice over your ether shield, please go ahead and target. Let's see. Target OnlyFans. I'm gonna mimic that as well. Go ahead and use that on OnlyFans. Make sure you have a re-raiser active if you have any. And you do, perfect. And I am going to sacrifice Jean d'Alter. Watch this hack. Lost sacrifice, don't even get the doom. Beautiful.
Neither of you did.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. All that's left is we have Aoi that needs to get up and our 2 comrades with no pure essences. And I'm sorry that we cannot res you. If you do want to come back to other runs, as long as you have the pure essences, you will almost certainly be able to clear and you will be fine. Just make sure you are prepared, or if you aren't, then we can still give you stuff. Yeah, I hope to see you guys on other runs and actually able to clear. It's just an unfortunate circumstance we find ourselves in.
I mean, technically, you guys are eligible for re-clears because you've seen.
Blitztaker is alive as well. Perfect. At this time, if you are new, please come stand on me on the C waymarker. If not, go ahead and you can stand in front of the gate to Minnow, but do not go to Queen. If this is your first time clearing Trinity Avowed, come back to the C waymarker. Okay, couple new people. We're gonna go ahead and pop this trap back here. If this is your first time, just follow me back here. We're going to show you why we need those pink traps, not purple. Okay, please gather around this pink trap. What I recommend, click on yourself, target yourself, and then put the little front arrow of your hip. Never mind, someone walked into it already. That is a-okay. You will now notice that you are small. Being small, you are now small enough to fit through that gate in front of that statue. Someone will need to walk through the gate and then walk a little further to actually open it. Fun fact of this mini that everyone always shares is that when the mini effect is applied, Lullafels are actually the tallest raise because of how the scaling works. You look at me, max height Femproth next to even Yo Baby Baby, the Lala, you will notice that I am even smaller than that. Go and take the jump pad over the gate is open. Be careful down the stairs, there are going to be some traps. I'm going to ask people to please avoid the traps. Please avoid the traps. Please avoid the traps.
Wow, properly.
We do have a perception. This is an actual EU moment. Big sad. Normally we just have people run into these for fun. But We are low on rises, we want to be safe. Yeah. So go ahead and run down to the Minnow Arena. We have about 30 minutes before the time I would be upset about hitting 11:30. I'm gonna go ahead and not do the like aha funny build my markers or whatever. If I could have one tank each on the 1, 2, 3, 4, please. Preferably tanks who like are confident and know what they're doing. If you are confident, I'm gonna have Hembo take over 1 for me. And let's see. Cutie, if you could at least back up. Cecil on 2. And yeah. Okay, healers. You will notice the B and D markers. If you are someone who has a lot of light curtains left over, and you can deflect, please stand on B. We will need you to reflect some orbs. If you are someone with a dispel still, please stand on D to dispel. If you have both of them, you can stand between the 2 waymarkers, but we will need healers to volunteer for this. Okay, perfect. I see we have a couple healers. Okay, I will explain what you are doing in just a moment. Okay, I'm gonna use /guide Minnow. Okay, perfect. That is actually the clan. Okay, welcome to Minotaur. Again, if you are following along in the presentation, there are going to be video examples of what I'm talking about. If not, then again, just check out ERS Learning. Okay, so I'm going to put out the actual markers. Okay, so again, welcome to Sigmalock Lord. At this point, if you are currently with us, you qualify for any form of reclearance. So if you would like to go to, for example, Himbo's reclear that is happening on Wednesday, or Lynn's reclear that happens every Saturday, you are free to sign up for those and attend, because almost all of them only require that you have seen to Trinity Avowed. All of you qualify for that. That said, do keep in mind that some of them may have different requirements. For example, make sure that you check out the required holsters on those, as they are fairly different from Anyprogs. That said, let's talk about this fight. Now, the boss you see in front of you is actually not the main reason that we actually have to worry about this fight. The boss in front of you just does some very basic attacks, like there are some conals, there's a tank buster, there's some baited puddles, very easy stuff to deal with. However, once the boss hits 70%, there's going to be an ads phase. The boss is going to go untargetable and 4 ads are going to spawn. These ads cannot be close to each other. If they're too close to each other or the middle of the arena, they're going to go super speed, and every single auto they do is going to apply a ruin stack. That is why I asked for competent tanks to make sure that they are ready to pull the Minotaurs. And yeah, Minotanks, I am sure you guys know what you're doing. I trust Hembo, Cutie, Cecil, Carlana, and myself. I mean, I sure fucking hope I trust myself. And we should all know what we're doing, so we are going to be good with kiting, hopefully. I'm going to talk about the mechanics that affect everyone, then talk about the, and then talk about like some specific mechanics that only apply to certain people. Now, what I'm about to say is the most important mechanic. This is one of the very few insta-kill mechanics alongside Trinity Avowed's temperatures, okay? Fateful words. So, at certain points throughout the fight, you're going to get one of 2 debuffs, okay? Either a sacrifice pull icon that looks like it is slurping in fettuccine alfredo, or the Wanderer's Push, where it looks like the Minotaur is shoving you down a flight of stairs. Based on which debuff you get, you will need to stand in one of the notches on the floor. Now, if everyone could look at the floor for me, you'll notice that there are these like dark blue tilings, as well as this like lighter tilings, and they almost seem to form like this path. That is because during the outs phase, anything that is this deep blue-purple is going to become a death wall, okay? If you walk into this blue space, if you get pushed into this blue space or pulled into it, you will instantly die. There are also going to be notches in this path, okay? There's the inner path and the outer path marked with the letter and number markers respectively. And there are also notches on the floor. With these notches, you will need to stand in the correct one based on your debuff, okay? If you get the Sacrifice Fettuccine Alfredo pull debuff, you need to stand on one of these outer notches. It can be this one, it could be this one, whatever. It just needs to be on the outer edge of the arena. Or if you're on the inner ring, towards the outer side, okay? If you were in the correct notch and you have the pull debuff, you will just get pulled from the outer notch to the inner notch. However, if you're in an inner notch, you will get pulled into and through the death wall and die. Again, if you have the pull, you need to be on the outer notch, where I am standing right here. Conversely, some of you may get the Wanderer's push debuff, okay? If you have this debuff where it looks like it is shoving you down a flight of stairs, you need to stand on the inner notches, because it's going to push you away from the middle of the arena. If you have this and you stand on the correct notch, you'll just get pushed from the inner notch to an outer notch. However, if you stand on the outer notch, you'll get pushed into a death wall and die. You also must be in the notches because the pulls are exactly big enough where it pulls you from like the edge of the ring into the death wall. You cannot be outside of the notch, okay? The notches are the only way to survive the mechanic. If you are not in a notch, you will also just die. Okay, that is the most important mechanic, okay? If you do anything, if you retain any of this information, retain that, okay? It is a personal mechanic that I cannot solve for you, and is the #1 cause of deaths during this mechanic, okay? Someone will die to it, I promise you. It's just a matter of who and how many. Yeah. Now, that is the biggest mechanic, okay? There is one other mechanic that affects everyone, then we're going into the specific ones, okay? The second mechanic I'm going to talk about, Devastating Bolt, very easy. There's going to be a purple line through this middle of the path. Just go into any notch. This will usually happen right before or after a words mechanic. So just stand in the right notch, or stay in the notch that you got sent to, and you'll be fine. After that goes off, there are going to be puddles at people's feet. Same as Dahu, do not stand in the orange. This is like the #3 cause of death as well, just people not walking out of the puddles, so make sure that you are being alert and aware. Now, there are a couple other mechanics that happen. Okay, at this time, if you are not someone who stood on a marker or between markers, you are going to start the ads phase going to 3, okay? Whether you are a blue icon, a red icon, or a green icon, you can just stand on 3 and resolve your mechanics in the notches by 3, and you will be fine, okay? Healers, you just need to be on the inner ring, okay? Anywhere in the inner ring is fine, but I specify 3 for everyone who is not a healer or one of the kiting tanks for one very specific reason. The very first mechanic that's going to happen is entrapment, okay? What this means, between each of the cardinals, so from 2 to 3, from 3 to 4, 4 to 1, 1 to 2, there is going to be one trap, okay? In each inner cardinal. The tanks who are kiting are going to blow up these traps. It's very important that you do not step off of the number waymarks if you are on the outer ring, unless you are a tank who is blowing up the traps. So again, what I recommend, start of ads phase, just stop. Just stand on 3, kill whatever ads are brought to you, and you'll be fine. Final mechanic. Okay, this is the healer mechanic. Healers, I told you to have ready Dispel and Light Curtains. This is why, okay? There are going to be balls of fire and balls of earth. If you're a healer who has Dispel, look for a ball of earth, use Dispel on it, and then use any GCD, okay? They have a very powerful stun skin that cannot even be broken by like a duelist doing as much damage as possible. It is impossible to kill them without dispelling, and then using any GCD to kill them because the actual health they have is very low without it. If you're a healer who instead has light curtains, you're going to look for balls of fire, okay? There are going to be balls of fire on the inner ring as well. You simply need to pop a light curtain and stand under it, the same way that happened on QG. Do not try and do both at once. If you're someone who has both light curtains and dispel, just choose one to do each wave. They're going to spawn every like 30 seconds. Just make sure that while you are doing them, you are also doing other mechanics. So if you have a push-pull, make sure you prioritize doing that over reflecting or dispelling. And during the notch mechanics, you can even solve them while, you can even like reflect or dispel while in the notches. So focus on doing the mechanic and then focus on dispelling or reflecting. Okay, that is, I'm sorry explanations were so long, but this is, we're very low on arises. We need to make sure people understand mechanics. Mechanics here, a lot of them have failed, will just kill us, because from this point forward it is also twice come ruin. So if an orb is not reflected, everyone gets a stack of twice come ruin. If an orb is not dispelled, everyone gets a stack of twice come ruin. If people fail the push mechanic, they are instantly dead. Okay, it's very important we have these things sorted out. I think I've explained everything. If you have any questions, please do ask, otherwise come to 3. Last call for questions, say something and yell if you have any, otherwise come to 3 and we're going to get started. Teoff, Tay, if you have any questions, again. Otherwise, come to 3. Perfect, okay. I'm going to go and start a nice, long 30-second countdown. At this time, I'm going to please ask, do not use any of your big cooldowns until the boss goes into ads phase. If it has a cooldown longer than 40 seconds, do not press it, okay? Hold as much damage as possible for the ads phase. Again, I don't want to see a single technical step, a single brotherhood, anything until the start of ads phase, okay? We're going to pull the boss. Just do your basic 1-2-3 combo, build gauge, save as much damage as possible for the ads phase, because if we kill them fast, then we have less mechanics to do. Okay, here's the funny buster. Everyone get close to the boss. There's going to be a knockback. Pop knockback immunity and get close to the boss. Knockback immune, get close to the boss and dodge the conals. There's going to be conals, dodge out of them. Do not get whacked. Whack, whack, whack. Do not get whacked. As the service say, do not get quacked. And everyone get away from the boss now. Get away from the boss. If you can gap close, you are too close to the boss. Get away from the boss now. And everyone get back in. Everyone head to your positions. Tanks go to your cardinals. Healers on the inner ring. Everyone else on 3. Tanks, please provoke and pull your minotaurs out. Everyone pop your big damage and kill the monks. Pop big damage, kill the monks. Pop big damage, kill the monks. Stay on 3, do not go off 3 because we are getting entrapment. Go to a cardinal if you are on the outer ring. Tanks, pop your invuln, blow up traps. Healers, watch out. Make sure any dark knights, warriors get healed. Words are out. Check your word, resolve them. Do mechanics. Do mechanics. Check your word, resolve your word. And get into any notch now. Get into any notch. Get into any notch. Get into any notch. Keep killing the ads, but get into a notch. Dodge orange at your feet. There are puddles. Keep moving. Do not stand in the orange. Do not get hit by the orange. Do not greed. Do not get hit. Kill the last minnow. We're going to get some word debuffs, but they are not going to go off. Healers, focus on arising if you have any. If you have dynamis dice, please go to the south and use it. I'm going to pull the boss north. There's going to be a raid wide. If you are low HP, then like heal. Everyone can go up north. Healers, you can focus on raising if anyone has dynamis dice. South is the best place to use it. Next up are going to be light rapid bolts. Take these out and away. Take rapid bolts out and away. Take them out and away and get out of the puddle that they leave. Range, you can stay away. Range can get away and melee can go out now. If you can gap close, you are too close. Get out and away now. After this goes off, you can get back in on the boss. There's going to be 2 more sets of rapid bolts. 2 more sets of rapid bolts. Take these out and away once again. Do not stand in the puddle that they leave. Take these out and away, take these out and away, and then get out of the puddles. get away from this. You can head all the way to 3 if you want and outrange the wax. Otherwise, get back in on the boss and dodge the kernels. Either stand on 3 or come in and dodge. Okay, next up is going to be a funny tank buster. People like to provoke it. Yep, there's Himbo. Kill the boss, build any job gauge, make sure Himbo does not get hit by this or die to it, although it would be really fucking funny. Okay, go ahead and raise any dead bodies, healers, if you have any, arises. Please focus on raising any dead bodies, especially if there are any healers dead. Can I also get in yell chat a count of arises? If you have any raising abilities, whether that is like a sacrifice, whether that is like a rise. In addition, please do not take the jump pad over, and if you do, do not walk forward, because once we trigger the cutscene, the queen spawns and its health is locked. I'm also unfortunately going to have to ask that you pause raising cutie until last. I'm sure we will have enough arises, but I want to make sure that we arise cutie last, because that is lowest priority, because bro has brittle bone disease. Okay, healers can arise QD, or QD can leave instance, I don't care. Whichever you want to do. Healers can arise QD until they leave. The choice is theirs. I am happy with raising and continuing on. Yeah, healers feel free to keep arising. Just say in shout chat. Okay, perfect. Say in shout chat how many arises you have at this time if you are a healer. If you are a tank, say if you have a sacrifice or two. And if you are someone with dice, please say something as well.
Opal's looking for number of casts, not the number of plates. So if you have 1 plate, that's 5 casts of Arise.
Well, I can deal with either. Just make sure you specify. If you have 1 Arise action, say that. If you have 1 Arise cast, say that. Okay, I just want to clarify. Say it in shout chat for me, please. We're going to go and trigger the cutscene. Okay. We have 2 plates, 8 casts. Okay. 5 casts, yeah. Out of dice, no arises. Yeah, we are very low. I'm gonna say this now, healers, you need to do your best to stay alive. If you do die, then, you know, that is unfortunate. We will do our best to get you up, but we don't have very many sacrifices. We don't have much to get you up. And we're going to be relying on your healer LB3s at the end of the fight to get people back up. So if you're a healer, please focus as much as you can on mechanics. If you die, there's a good chance anyone else in your party who is dead is staying dead. I know that's a lot of pressure, but that is unfortunately the situation we are in. Okay, welcome to Queen. I know it is late. It is unfortunate. I'm going to explain exactly 2.5 things here, okay? Once you are out of the cutscene, please step forward. Before I put down actual markers, if you are someone who needs who is out of re-raisers and does not have one, if you are out of re-raisers and do not have the re-raise buff on you, please stand on 1 for me. There are a couple people who have lost re-raise and can give you one. Okay, I will give one to Edda. Again, if you do not have any more re-raisers and you do not have the re-raise buff, please stand on 1. I'm giving one to Cleric. If anyone else has lost re-raise they can give away, please feel free to. Prioritize giving it to healers, please. Okay. If anyone else has re-raise, they can use it, but otherwise, I believe that is all the lost re-raise, unless Carlana has some, and they are currently giving out Shell. That said, please get Shell behind the purple line. Once you have it, step across. I'm gonna go ahead and start explaining the mechanics that we need to explain. So, welcome to Queen. This is our final boss. At this point, as long as we kill the boss, whether you are alive or not, you get your mount. And if you are alive, you will also get a chest that has a full random augment, as well as a minion and some extra fragments. First thing I'm going to explain it again. As I said, 2.5 mechanics, and that half of the mechanic is going to be these markers. Now, these markers, if you notice, form kind of like a grid, kind of like a battleship board or a chessboard. I'm going to call by calling either the tile themselves. So for example, the 4 tile, the A tile, the D tile, the 1 tile, whatever. But if there's not a marker on the tile, how do I call a tile? Very simple, by calling the intersection. So for example, this tile right here is the B4 tile. This tile right here is the A4 tile. And this tile right here is the 4 tile. If you are having trouble following those, however, you should focus target me, Opalt Jade, okay? They're going, for any mechanics where I can safely guide you, I am going to stand in the safe spot with the marker on my head. However, because there are so many people, depending on your settings, you may not see me in the crowd. That is why you should focus target me if you cannot listen to the callouts and cannot understand the markers. Or like, just in general. Okay, with that said, that is the half of a mechanic. The first mechanic I need to explain is Super Chess, okay? Super Chess, yeah, okay. Super Chess is another mechanic that will instantly kill you if failed. It is very important that you pay attention here. What's going to happen with Super Chess, okay? The boss is going to go untargetable, so you don't need to worry about damage. You are also going to get 2 debuffs, okay? These debuffs, let me use the /guide queen command. These debuffs are going to look like this. If you look at the third picture, / the one I just reposted, the debuffs are going to look like this. You will get 2 of these 3, so you could have like a 2 and a 3, a 2 and a 4, or a 3 and a 4. Your total will always be either 5, 6, or 7. You need to add the 2 numbers together. Don't worry about timers, don't worry about anything. Just add the 2 together. I will tell you where to stand based on the total of your debuffs. So for example, I might say something like 6s to 4, 7s to A4, 5s to B1. Or I could say something like 6s to D, or sorry, 5s to C, 6s to B, 7s to A, right? I don't know what it's going to be because I don't know the exact pattern ahead of time, but I will call it out based on the pattern. With that in mind, you need to go to the spot based on your total. So if you have a total of 5 with your debuffs, you go to where I say 5s go, you know? 6, you go to the 6s, 7s, you go to the 7s. If you're having trouble following callouts, you can also look for people with hex numbers on their head. For example, some people mark themselves with 5, 6, or 7 to tell you where to stand. But based on that, you need to go to the correct spot. If you get to the correct spot, then everything else is easy, okay? I'm going to tell you a column to walk up. So for example, if I am a 6, I am starting here, right? If the caller says that I need to walk into the number tiles, I walk over to 4. And then I'm going to notice that I have dots above my head, right? If you have dots above your head still, you need to walk up the column until those dots disappear. So for example, let's say I had 1 dot above my head, I would walk forward 1 tile, and the dots would disappear. However, if you keep walking forward when you have no dots, you're going to get a big red spike of doom above your head. If you get this red spike of doom, you need to move backwards until it goes away. You have 3 seconds or you will instantly die, okay? What I recommend, just walk until the dots disappear, go 1 tile at a time. Okay? Very, very easy, right? Just go 1 tile at a time, you have plenty of space. Do not walk past. Do not keep walking once your dots disappear. After that first movement, once your dots go away and you stand still, you're going to get stunned eventually, and then there's going to be a big glowing safe tile. No matter what, walk into that big glowing tile, okay? If you have a re-raiser and you die outside that glowing safe tile, there's a good chance that you die, re-raise, and then die again. And you do not want that, because then you're just dead on the ground with nothing you can do. I've seen it happen, it's very sad. So please, just walk into the safe tile, no matter what, get there, no matter what. That's Super Chess, okay? Second mechanic I need to explain. You might remember those light curtains. I asked everyone to bring light curtains if you were above rank 18. This is where we use them, okay? Grab your light curtains, put them on your hotbar, drag them over. There's going to be one mechanic where I say for everyone to use a light curtain and just stand still, okay? There are going to be orbs around the arena that if you just pop a light curtain, you don't need to worry about. That said, if you run out of light curtains or do not have the light curtain, please just follow me. I'm going to stand somewhere that is not getting hit by an orb. If you do not have a reflect and get hit by the orb's AoB, you insta-die. Even if you are ray-raising and like have transcendence, it goes through invul. So you need to either dodge it or pop a reflect. Okay, that is all the mechanics. All the other mechanics are basically just repeats of Queen's Guard or stuff I can call out fairly easily. At this time, if you have questions, ask them in Yell chat. Otherwise, come up to the B4 tile. Okay, waiting on movement from Aoi, Blitz, Teoff, Dellinger, Hazel. If you guys are ready, step up to B4. Otherwise, please ask the questions that you may have.
Hazel said they're here. They're just waiting for Mimic.
Yeah.
Mimic, rather.
Okay, at this time, if you are mimicking, please target our batteries, Hazel and Aramis, and mimic, and get ready to mimic. Hanks, please ensure you have Ether Shield slotted. Replace your shell, replace your weakest damage action. Get ready to do as much damage as possible. I'm starting a 30-second countdown. If you have Raid Food, now is a great time to use it. The Raid Bites hurt just as bad as on Trinity Avowed. Cure for casters, make sure you have a full fresh plate of Cure 4 if you have one. You are going to need it because these Raid Bites, you will need to use probably 2 charges per. Once for the actual hit, once for the bleed. Ready to use potions, use Raid Food, do as much damage as possible, and healers, do your best to stay alive. Also healers, please do not slot over your Dispel. I'll talk about that in a second. Everyone stack up in front of the boss. There's going to be a raid wipe. Stack up in front of the boss. There's going to be a raid wipe. Ether Shield and Mitigate. Ether Shield and Mitigate.
I have aggro.
Okay, next up is going to be Chess 1, the hardest mechanic in the instance to call. But for you, you just have to follow the callouts. That is two. Okay, we're gonna see where we are going, either north, south, east, or west. We are hoping for... Okay, perfect. We're heading towards the numbers. Stand on A1. Back half of A1, back half of A3. Do not be on A2. Do not be on the back wall. We can walk to the middle. Walk to the middle. Do not be in the A column. Walk to the middle. Next up is a tank buster. I fucked up and forgot the trick. So we'll deal with that in a second. But I can invul this first one, so we will be fine. Okay. Go ahead and stack together. We're going to need to Ether Shield and Mitigate. Stack together, Ether Shield and Mitigate. Triple casters, get ready to heal people. Triple casters, heal everyone back up. Carlona, if you could provoke. And get ready for Super Chest. The boss is going untargetable. Get ready to check your numbers. Get ready to check your numbers. We're heading towards the south of the arena. The back is safe, the wall is unsafe. 5s are going to A4. 6s are going to B4. 7s are going to C4. Again, 5s to A4, 6s to B4, 7s to C4. Look for the hex numbers or go to the tile. Please wait for dots to appear. Once dots appear on your head, you're going to walk into and up the A column. Walk over to the A column and then up that column. Do not be on the numbers. Walk into and up the A column. If you get the red spike, move back. Once you're able to move again, please move into that big glowing safe tile, no matter what. Move into the big glowing safe tile, no matter what. Once the boss is targetable again... Oh, rip that DC, that is very unfortunate. Okay, once the boss is targetable, rip your 2 minutes, do as much damage as possible, and stack together. There's going to be a raid wipe in just a moment. Stack together, Ether Shield, Mitigate. Ether Shield, Faint out of Reprisal. Cure 4 casters, get ready to heal. Your Cure 4 casters dead. Healers, do your best. Again, you can keep stacking together. Get ready with your light curtains. Whenever I tell you to press a light curtain, stop attacking and pressing it. It does take a GCD. Healers, if you have Dispel, get ready to use it. Press light curtains, dispel the boss. Press light curtains, dispel the boss. If you do not have one, come to ignore one. Get into any of the big domes. Get into a big dome. Get into a big dome. No matter what, get into a dome. Perfect. Next up is going to be the first Relentless Play mechanic. This is going to be the Wind and Lightning mechanic with a reading mechanic. You need to point the gap into A1 first instead of the middle. Separate tether. Tethers will go to wind, everyone else will go to lightning. Tethers to wind, rest lightning. Don't move yet though. Don't move yet. We are going towards the numbers. Go towards the numbers. Tethers to wind, rest lightning. Stop attacking, point your gap to A1. Point your gap to A1, and then to a turret on the wall. Gap to A1, then turret on the wall. Back in on the boss, stack together. That is unfortunate. I will need an Estina, and I need any tank to provoke and mitigate. Any tank provoke and mitigate. Estina Cecil, Estina Cecil, Estina Cecil. Perfect. Any tank can also provoke again. Carlana, if you could. Next up is a downtime mechanic. Hold on to your 2 minutes if you can. Hold on to your 2 minutes if you can. Just provoke when we come back, it's fine. Go and stack together in the middle. We're going to get knocked back. Stack together in the middle. We're getting knocked back. Stack in the middle. We're getting knocked back easy towards 2. Stand on the ignore 1. Get knocked to 2. Do not be in the middle. Do not be in the middle. Yep. Next up, we are going towards the queen. Run to the queen. There's a small safe spot on D1. Small safe spot on D1. It's definitely D1, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That is right.
William's wrong. I saw William jumping. Okay, back on the boss. Pop your 2 minutes now. Stack together to Ether Shield and mitigate. Stack together to Ether Shield and mitigate. Ether Shield and mitigate. We are going to have to hold that for LB3. Do not kill the boss. Just get it very low. Okay, stop attacking now. Stop attacking now. Stop attacking. Get ready for super chats. We're going to do this mechanic. Stop attacking. Get ready to do super chats. We are heading towards the south. The back is safe. The wall is safe. 6s are going to D. 7s are going to C. 5s are going to D1. 5s to D1. 6s to D. 7s to C. 5s to D1. 6s to D. 7s to C. As soon as you see the dots above your head, move on to D and then up that column. Move on to D and then up the column. Until your dots disappear. Once you see the red spike, move back. As soon as you can move again, move to the big glowing tile, and if you see healers dead, please mark them. Walk to the big glowing tile. If healers are dead, mark them.
Don't attack the boss after this. We need LB.
When the boss is targetable again, do not attack healers. As soon as you have LB3, you are going to use it. Do not attack the boss, healers. LB3 as soon as you have it. Perfect, we can kill the boss. Go ahead and stack together. Kill the boss, stack together, kill the boss. Perfect. Congratulations to anyone of you who it was your first clear. I know there were several. If this was not your first clear, thank you for helping people come clear. Sorry this run took so long. Normally my runs are not this long, but I did have to take a while to fill, to take a while to, I had to expense extra stuff. If this was your first time, again, thank you. Once you leave the instance, you will notice in your achievement menu that you can grab your Cerberus mount. You should also grab the chest that will have one full random augment, as well as the quote-unquote very rare Save the Princess minion that I think I have like 50 of at this point.
Come to the back for a picture.
I have 4 FC chest tabs filled with them.
I have 2 alts that are filled with them because I try to sell them for nothing.
If you would like to take a picture, there is a tree at the back where it is very nice to take pictures with. That said, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for helping any new or newer people if you are someone who has done this many times. If you would like to do more DRS, there are so many runs in the coming week. There are actually just so many. Like, it's absurd. There's going to be some reclears, there's going to be some Anyprogs. Please go to as many of them that you can or want to. Even if you have already cleared, there's still the title and there's still the augments. And this instance is just a lot of fun. But we literally cannot do it without you guys. Without people to join the instance, we cannot go in. Again, thank you for coming. Sorry for the couple missed calls and that it got a little rough, but we got there in the end.
Yeah.
If
Happy
you're afraid
birthday,
about
Opal!
Happy birthday, Opal.
Happy birthday, Opal.
Thank you all.
Singing.
I'm
If
also
a lack of actions is your barrier to coming to the Reclear on Wednesday, we will hand you stuff.
Yeah, I'm very glad this run actually got off the ground because last year I had to cancel my run because I was sick, and this year I did not want to have to cancel it because of lack of people. So again, thank you all for coming. And yeah, I hope to see you guys on more runs in the future. I will be going on like any of the runs that I physically can in the next week and in the upcoming future. So
Guys, Opal's dueling at the same time next Monday. Show up to that run.
oh, I am? Okay.
Hey, Opal, I have a serious question.
Yeah.
I said Opal, not payoff.
Wow.
Opal, do you want the rest of the gill back?
Oh, I don't care. You can have it.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Spend it on more Caprice.
So true.
I can't say enough. Please come to DRS, please. We really need more people to do DRS.
You need 24 to go in.
We gotta keep feeding the addiction, please. I gotta hit
Hopefully
400.
we have more than 24.
I gotta hit
Fine.
400 clears before Cult Crescent comes out. That's the goal.
We're just taking
So,
advantage
What
of
are you at?
everybody else.
I'm like 360, I think. Across all my characters.
Mm,
So it's
that's gonna be
hard.
high.
Probably like there'll probably
That's
be
one
like
a day.
10 to 15 in the 96 hours of DRS coming up.
Yeah.
The
Who
fuck?
knows?
Or you can just go back to back to back with like as many people as you can.
Well, I'm running because I do runs here on NA. I do them over on EU. I'm trying to get a character to do JP, DC, DRS as well. So I have tons of runs. I just gotta actually fucking go to them.
I'm at 291. Well, probably too big to do with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get something to eat. Again, thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you guys on more runs. I really do. And yeah,
Love you, Opal.
thank
Happy
you all
birthday,
for coming.
Opal.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Yeah, thank you all. And good night.